If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Okay, so let's get started today. Like as I said, we'll be starting with some of the recap yesterday. To go through, I will create a data analyzer data set and then create a data model. And once I create a data model,
So Shubha, will you
how
be
we
sending
can,
us the spreadsheet also? The one that you were
yes,
taking
yes,
notes on?
I'll be sending that to you, and you will already have that into your, into your
LMS?
LMS.
Okay.
Yes. Except one file probably which I'm going to use today, which I will send it to the support and they will upload. So that's what's the plan, and then we'll see how we GUND is the data set, and then probably I'll show you how that can be represented in story and all. And we'll start with the story, and as we go on the story, we'll see more of the features of the story, calculations in the story, blending, we'll see link analysis, geo-mapping stories and all those things. Okay.
So today I'm hearing we're going to do modeling and you're sending out the story. Are we going to are we supposed to follow along and do we do exercises? Meaning, do we do it and then
Yes.
you do it? How does that work?
Yes. I will first do it, and then if each one of you can do it in your system as well, and wherever you are stuck, I will help you to navigate through.
Okay, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I follow along with everything, but I kind of find if I do it myself, then I really can tell if I'm learning it or not.
Correct. Absolutely. Okay, with that, I'm sharing my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. So I have kept both the boxes today side by side, whichever works well. This is another trial version I've taken. Okay, I'm running another different training, and we have been using this. So this one, today, what I'm going to do, like if you see, first I'm going to create a data set. So for creating a data set, as I said yesterday, we can create the data set out of a CSV file or from a data source. Whereas if you wanted to create a data analyzer, yesterday when I showed, it can only be created on an existing model and from a data source, which is live connection. Okay. Now, first I will create a data set. So if you come here, if you wanted to create from a data set from a CSV file, I'll just upload. Before even that, I will just do one thing. I'll create a folder here so that I save everything in that folder. So I'll create a new folder. Okay. And I'll name it, say for example, exercise. And so I'll do that. And this folder that got created into my files, unless and until I share it across with any one of you or any of the users in this platform, it will not be visible by them. But would I have created this folder into public, then everybody could have seen that, can have access to that. Now let's first create my first data set. So I'll create a data set from a CSV file, and I will use this CSV file, the superstore data CSV file, which I was trying to use yesterday, and I was getting a lot of issues. So today I'm going to use this, and I'll name it in the exercise folder. Let's say my first data set. So here, if you see, this data set had 9,994 rows, 22 columns, and 2,000 rows. Is a sample size. So sample size is 2,000 rows. Okay, and that's what it is. That is the default sample size in the data sets, because it's ad hoc analysis. So we are required to maintain that default size. More than that, data sets cannot accommodate. We need to go for data model. The moment I uploaded the data file, you see there are a bunch of columns, bunch of things has been decided here. Okay, now the system is intelligent enough. Last day also I told, intelligent enough to decide which is this measure, which is a dimension. Now, in some cases that doesn't make sense. Like say for example, postal code, it has taken as a measure. It's not a measure, it's a dimension. So I'll change it to dimension. So here beside that you will see that 3 dot buttons, and you can click on dimension, change it to dimension. Okay. So this get added to at the bottom. Now on the data set level, you can check the data here. There are the column. This is numeric type. This is characteristics type. So capital A's are all characteristics. This is calendar is date types. So the system is automatically able to identify those. Wherever the problem was there for the postal code, I have changed it myself. Okay, and then ultimately you have sales, quantity, discount, and profit. Okay, so that's the data sets looks like. Now, if you wanted to analyze these data sets together, we can do it in a story. Now, having said that, there are a couple of other buttons here. You can see, as I was telling you yesterday, one is hierarchy, another one is transpose the column. That you can do. You can, or then remove the duplicated rows. If there are any duplicated rows, so then that will be removed. Now here one point I missed is these two are important things that I missed yesterday to show it to you. Let's discuss around that. First, whenever you get a data set, it is available for a story to create on top of a data set. Okay, so you can create a story out of a data set, but limited to only 2,000 rows. That you need to keep in mind. But if you create a model, the model can hold an innumerous number of data. That's not restricted to 2,000 rows. So both are more or less similar. Only thing, the model has more robust structure and more advanced features. Datasets is just for ad hoc analysis, but both can be used in stories. Okay. Now, in the datasets, I can create any of the dimensions and enrich it by a geo dimension. Okay. Now there are two options here. One is coordinate and one is area name. So what is coordinate? So every geographical location in our map is kind of it's an approach through coordinates. One is latitude and one is longitude. So everything has a latitude and longitude. Using those longitude and latitude, it can pinpoint a particular position in a map. So if you have in your data sets the latitude and longitude, then you can use that through coordinate. In this case, I do not have a latitude and longitude. Okay, so I cannot use that. Okay, so as a result of that, what I need to do, instead of coordinates, I need to use area name. Now, if I start using area name to geo-enrich this data, what will happen? This area name is option is only supported for US, not the global map, only the US map. And it is in when I create a story and I put this data set into a story in a geo map, there are certain particular layers of layer can be used. Not everything can be used. So ideally, you should always enrich the data through the coordinates, and if through the coordinates. But if it is not possible, it is not possible in your data set, you can do it in area name, but it cannot support any other country's map apart from US or any specific type of geo map apart from one or two specific types. And those types I will discuss when I'll talk about stories. Okay, so those are the two important things to Keep in mind. So any question on this coordinates and the area map? I will show you in both way. How can you create a enrich the data? So this data set doesn't have a coordinate. So I will do a through area map. So when you click on the area map, at the very bottom you can see supported locations. So if you click on that, it will download an Excel. So this is these supported locations. It's basically nothing but the location that SSE supports, right? Is listed here. And if you see here, the supported location is only, I think, country is US. If you see, everything should be US. If I put a filter here, there are Argentina and Angola are there as well, but this doesn't support apart from US. That's what I can say. It doesn't support anything apart from US. It is saying that, but it doesn't support right now. That is not enriched to that level. Now, coming to the settings. So you can see the moment you geo enrich the data here, you can see there are two options are coming. One is this and another one this. Select a column in your data set. So it is asking for any column to choose which will be representing your country or region. In this data set, I have a column called country. Okay. And then it is asking for select a region, select a column for a region. So I will choose state as my region. Okay. And then sub-region, if you wanted to give, you can select further. But in this case, I'm not giving sub-region based on the type of data we have. Okay. So this is the settings to geo-enrich. So in this case, I'm telling my country column here and my state column is basically the basis of geo-enriching the data. By making the data model geo-enriched means that you are making this model available for geomaps, geographical maps. Okay. So you say okay, it will get the data sets will get adjusted. Okay. And the location dimension. There is a dimension that get created called location dimension once you create this kind of geomap enrichment. Right. You can see these two columns are basically got highlighted and they are basically paired together. Okay. So this becomes your geomap enriched column. Okay. Now, if you wanted,
I apologize. Can I ask you a question, or do you want me to hold questions?
Sure, please. No,
okay.
You can.
Is the geo-mapping available? Like, I see city, state, country. Is it available globally? Like, we have sales data. I'm thinking of two use cases for us. We have our sales data, and then we have our shipment data. Both. Francis, I think like the global financial, we show our sales data from the financials, on geofencing, and then the shipment cost. I'm not sure which metric, if we do the operational one, maybe, and we show geofencing, that would be US. So can we do it globally as well, or is it
yes, you can do
work well?
You can do globally, but in that case, you have to enrich the model through coordinates, not through area.
Okay, so right. Area works in US, coordinates work globally?
Globally. In case of import connection, or in case of your not live connection. If you have a live connection done with your SAP BW system or HANA system, there is completely a separate methodology through which you can enrich the data, and there you can you can enrich the data set by latitude and longitude. That's the by default, and that latitude and longitude details will come from the native BW system or native HANA system through which you are connecting.
Okay, so when we do import model, we can use area name or coordinates. Use coordinates.
Yes.
For import model. Coordinates is globally. I heard area name is US for imports.
US.
When we're for US, thank you, US. And then when we're pulling a live model, do we have to have latitude, longitude in that data set? Or
Correct.
does it?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So then that would not work for us because we do not
So if you
have
are
that.
No, maybe you do not have that in the data set that you are pulling. Suppose you have a column called source location or a target location. In case of transportation management, source location, source origin, source country, target destination country. Those are very common fields, right? Those fields are internally, these are master data. Those master data internally related to longitude and latitude, that can be done in the BW system, and in turn it will help you to create the map.
So it can be done in the BW system in the query, maybe?
Not in the query, in the model. Then model will support you give you the related latitude and longitude in the model.
Okay, in the model
of the BW system, not in the SSE model.
In the model BW system, we can basically put in latitude, longitude for live data. Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Yes.
And okay. A BW consultant would be able to help you there.
Okay,
or a HANA consultant would be able to help you there.
Okay, that's a Rahul dandy then. That's a great idea.
Yes. Then so here in this case, because I am using an import connection, right, and I do not have latitude and longitude in my data set, so I have done it to area, and mostly the data set belongs to US. So that makes sense, and I have done it through area. I will also show you how you can do it through coordinates, that is longitude and latitude. I'll show you in the next example. So right now, you see this is geo-enriched. Also, in case of anything right here, you can create a hierarchy. So this is the geo-enrichment I have shown, and then there is a button called level-based hierarchy. In this case, you are able to create level-based hierarchy. Now I will come to one important topic: level-based hierarchy and parent-child hierarchy. I hope you already know, but I'll just reiterate that what is level-based hierarchy and parent-child hierarchy once I create this. But now just understand, we are creating a level-based hierarchy. So you can, in these data sets, you can also create a level-based hierarchy, just that you need to create a dimension. You choose the dimension properly. So I said my category is the first layer. Second layer is my subcategory of the product. Third name is my product name. This is my hierarchy. So this is a product hierarchy. I name it as product hierarchy. Okay. Okay. Just this is my product hierarchy, and just say okay. The hierarchy will get created. Automatically, you see your hierarchy was created successfully. Automatically, this will be mapped to as a hierarchy. And once you do that, now you have created enriched the data set as a geographical, and then I also created a hierarchy. You save the model. Simple. Once you save this model, this is now this 2000 records is geo enriched as well as hierarchy being created for that. Okay. Now this data model, this data set, sorry, not the model, data set can be used in stories. I'll come to detailing of the story later, but first just to show you. Okay. Okay. I'll come to more details into the later part, but just to show you how can you use these data sets. If you wanted to create a chart, say for example, you can just point to exercise and you can see, you can just point to this data set, my first data set. If you click on that, all the columns and the measures will be available for your creating your chart, and then the story here, basically the dashboard. Okay, so I'll just add a measure, say for example sales. Okay, and I wanted to show it by, say for example, as I did here, product hierarchy. Okay, so now at the very high level, it is showing everything together. product hierarchy. Now I choose the hierarchy from here. I give level 2. So you can see I'm drilling down to level 2, furnitures, office, supplies, and so on. If you drill down further, it will give you level 3. Okay. Now you can make sure you can do some top 5 also, right? Top n options. So for example, top 5 I wanted to see. I'll show the top 5. Then you can go further to level 4. Okay. And then this is how you can build. This is the product name. This is how you can use that. So that means you can see the hierarchical approach include the parent level also. If you wanted to include the parent level, it will include the parent level, and I will just show till level 3. That would make sense. So you can see this is how you can use the hierarchy in a chart. Okay, that's one thing. It could be any other chart as well. Right now I'm just used a bar chart. So data set is being created. What we have done in this process, data set is being created. And then thereafter, once we created the data sets, we have enabled that as hierarchy. I also did something like I enriched as a geo-map. So you just include a geo-map here. Okay. I'll not go into the details. I'll just do the beauty right now. Detailing I will do when I'll come to the story part in detailed manner. Okay. I'll just add a layer, and I will say this is my first data set. And in that, there are different type of layer it is possible. So this particular, when you include the layer, it is called base layer or base map. Okay. So if I come back and hold it, you can see this is the just a second. This layer 1. I'll come back. I'll say okay. So if you hold back, this is my base layer, and there are many base layer types available. From here, you can choose this base layer type. Some standard design is available. Okay. Light gray, dark gray, maybe satellite view. Okay, those kind of base layer is available. That means you are creating the base layer of the map. Okay, then you have to give a layer. Okay, so you can give and in the layer you have to give a location dimension and then the measure. Based on the layer type, there are 6 different layer types are there. The corresponding location dimension, color, and the size will change. But as we have created only enrich the data sets only with the area name geo enrichment we have done, it only supports this choropleth or drill layer. It doesn't support anything else. Okay, it doesn't support anything else. So this is the layer it only supports. If you are enriching your data set by area name instead of longitude and latitude, that is coordinates, then it only supports choropleth. Okay, it doesn't support anything else. It doesn't support the bubble layer. It doesn't support the point of interest layer. It doesn't support the heat map layer, feature layer, flow layer. Okay, so it just the support. I'll discuss all this in details again, right? So I will just add the location dimension here. You can see the geo hierarchy is automatically coming, but the moment I choose bubble layer, it will not show you the geo hierarchy because it doesn't support. Okay, so this is one point to remember. Only choropleth layer will be supported by when you enrich a map, a data set or a data model by area name. Now the map is getting formed. This is the location dimension, and then you can give a measure to identify what is your profit. Okay. Or maybe I'll give instead of profit, I will give the sales to make it looking better. Yeah. So if you wanted to add a filter, you can give a filter as well. If you wanted to give this, for example, only we wanted to say office supplies and furniture, that you can do as well. It will accordingly plot the details. Okay. So this is how you will get to the map. Okay. Now I'll remove the filter. Okay, filtering also gives a lot of option. You can give a range. Okay, there are other range, and you can filter it through product hierarchy as well if you wanted to do. Okay, or there are a lot of options in the filtering that you can use on this map. So I'll not define many filters. I'll just keep it open, and I'll just make sure this is here. This is the chart. You have it. Okay. Right, and if I hold this, just say okay. Okay, this is how you can build a chart. Now, if you wanted to see it in the view map, this is how it will be viewed. Okay, right. So this chart creation or the geomap creation is possible only because you geo-enrich the data set through the area process. Okay, area name. If you do not geo-enrich the data set, this plotting will not be possible. This mapping will not be possible. So that's the prerequisite. Now, within that, when you view the data, you can change the layer one. You can remove the layer, and you can do all of the dimensions and everything, right? You can do everything. And geo hierarchy, you can, if you wanted to filter to the geo hierarchy to the region level, let's say for example, that you can also do. Right? You can see the data is looking like that. And then if you wanted to focus on one particular area specifically, you can select it like this and just filter. It will show you that focus line. And if I hover on it, if you wanted to further get into the details of it, and you can click on this, you can go up. So if the further hierarchy is there from the region to city to something, you can further deep down into the details. Okay, so this is how you can do it.
Can we do bubble maps as well? I think this is really great. Does it support bubble maps as well?
No, this doesn't support bubble map. It only support drill layer. But what you can do in the drill layer, if you go to the layer here, you can change it to the bubble instead of showing it the color. Let's see how does it look.
Our company tends to like bubble
you
maps.
Can see, you can see this is how it will look. Okay. This is how it will look. Bubble map, if you wanted to do on the map, you have to enrich the data set by coordinates. And I'll show you. No worries. I'll show you that also coordinate with how can you do that. Okay. So right now the data set is such that it is only showing the United States. If I go to the region level, it will show you the different bubbles. You can see within the, I wanted to filter it. I'll just remove the filter. Start with using the bubble. Right, you can see it like this. Okay. But this is not a bubble map. This is a representation of drill layer with the bubble with the region name as bubbles. Okay, wherein the color defines here. If you go here, the color defines the intensity. Say for example, the cells at what is the number of cells is there. The color defines that. Just a sec. Let me. Yeah. So more go left is 0%. If more you go 100%. So you can see New York is one of the highest cells, whereas Texas is in the mid range, whereas the rest of the things are in the blue range. And probably the darkest blue is this, is at the lowest level, Rhode Island, like that.
So it doesn't allow us to change this, instead of the legend by color, it doesn't allow us to change the size of the bubble based on intensity.
The size of the bubble you can change in the bubble chart, not in this chart. In this geomap. What is the geomap we have used here? If you see here, we have used the choropleth or drill layer. In that, the style I am showing into bubble, because I had the data set that is being enriched is enriched by area name, not by coordinates. If you enrich by coordinate, you can create the bubble chart as well.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's a way to have it automatically change the bubble size based on sales intensity.
Yes, here is also there is an option to bubble send through that. I can put the quantity into the bubble size. Let's see how it looks. It has to depend on, yeah, now you see.
That's what our company really likes to see.
Yes, you can do it. But this is the representation of drill layer. Okay, this is how you can do.
Okay, so this is good. So Francis, can you add this to the transportation by program type metric?
Yes.
Don't you think that would be
I'll take a
helpful?
look at it.
Do you think that would be helpful?
Yes.
Right? It basically quantity versus sales relationship. Here you can see you sold more product, 7,667 units you have sold to earn 457 687 $87.63, whereas New York has done only 4224 and earned 3310 876.27 sales volume, where Texas is this.
Yeah, I think this is really, the geo mapping is really helpful to really practical use.
Yes, absolutely. But as I said, whenever you are I'll just duplicate this tab. Whenever you are basically using a geo map and you are enriching the data set by area name, it will only support choropleth type of chart. Now, if you wanted to, like the data set I have created earlier is this, right? The geo enrichment was done through this area name. So if you do this through area name, only choropleth will be supported. But if you do it through coordinate, then a lot of other different types of charts is also like geomaps also possible. I'll show you that as well now. Okay. So to understand that, I will create another data set. I'll close this and I'll create another data set here. Sorry, my bad. Data sets from CSV file. I will take another CSV file here and like select the source. I'll take this earthquake data. Okay, this earthquake data I will take, and this earthquake data I will upload it into the like data set. So I'll say this is my in the exercise file. I will do earthquake data. Okay, I save it. Okay, this is sample data taken from internet. Okay. Okay. So this is got updated, right? Now some of the columns here I don't require. I'll quickly massage the data. I'll delete that. Okay, this column is not required. I will delete that M. This is also not required. Then I will delete Q. These are all some dummy data. And then what I don't require is, I think these are not required for my. I'm deleting those from the column. Then okay, so this is my my data set, and then this is my date column. This is my time. This is my event type. Okay, earthquake UQ, and then magnitude. What is the latitude? Where exactly? Now here you can see the latitude and longitude are there. Okay, that is one of the important measure. Okay, now I will make sure the I will duplicate this latitude and longitude. Okay, I will duplicate this latitude and longitude. If you wanted to duplicate it, this is how you will duplicate. Sorry, my bad, not latitude and I should duplicate it. I'm duplicating. And I wanted to create a dimension without touching this. Okay. So what you can do, you can go to this, the magnitude 1, right? You can click on this icon and change it to a dimension. And before that, I will give a rename. I'll say this is D magnitude. And I will change it to a dimension. Similarly, you can create a, like depth. And this one, I will also change it to dimension. I prefix it by D to identify this is a dimension. Okay. I'll just change it to dimension. Okay. Now, this is just I prepared the data set. Okay. So these are the columns are there. Now I wanted to geo-enrich this data. How you can geo-enrich? You click on this. In this particular data set, I have the longitude and latitude. I'll say coordinate. Instead of area name, which I chose earlier, I will choose coordinate. Okay. And I say my dimension, which I'm going to create is a location dimension, and latitude is latitude, longitude is longitude. So that's the field name. Okay. And I'm going to ask, I'm creating a new dimension. This is the tab. Okay. I'm creating a new dimension. So it will create a location dimension. Just see the beauty. It created a location dimension, if you see. So that means your data set is enriched by latitude and longitude to have a location dimension separated by comma. It's a coordinate geometry kind of thing. Okay. So this is now geo-enriched. Now, if you wanted to create some hierarchy, you can also create here. I don't want it to create. I'll just save it and see how using this latitude and longitude I can create charts. So I'll go back from here. I'll save this story for now. If I go to the edit mode. I'll save this story, the one I created earlier. Okay. Now I'll come back. I will create another story. I'm using the canvas phase for now. I'll show you what is canvas and what is responsive and all later on. So I'll create a geomap. Using the data sets, I will add a layer. First, I will choose a base map. Say, for example, this time, let me choose a different type of base map, probably this one. See how does it look? Not be that good. Okay. Now I will create a layer, and here I need to choose the model. Which model I need to use? So I will say my earthquake data set I wanted to use. Okay. So I'll say now because this particular data says earthquake data set is being enriched by latitude and longitude, that is the coordinate. You can use any type of layer: bubble, point of interest, heat map, photopleth, feature, flow. Okay. So this case I will use bubble. Okay. Okay. So bubble is already chosen. Now it is giving you the location dimension that I have created. Okay. You can see it started creating the location. Now bubble size and bubble color, you can give depth as bubble color and this, and maybe bubble size is by magnitude. Okay, so this is how the chart is looking like. The color combination might not be that good. We can change the color combination as well. Okay, if you have any particular cluster, you can change the clusters as well. So basically, if what the message I'm trying to convey through this, you can create any type of chart. You can change the chart to the heat map. Yeah, right. You can see that how does it looks like. This is the area, San Diego area, and now if you wanted to go back and say okay and change the base layer to a better layer, say for example, instead of using this, I wanted to use this gray. This looks better, a little better, you know. So you can use that kind of chart as well. Right, this is how it in the high level look. The more you zoom in, it will look different. Okay, so this is your art. This is how you can use different chart. If you wanted to, instead of add another layer, say for example, I wanted to add another layer location. I wanted to use instead of bubble layer, I wanted to use choropleth. Okay, right, this is the data. Okay, and this is where this is the second location, and you can just give some color and all, depth and the choropleth and all. You can see this is how it looks like. So you can combine two layers as well into the chart as well. This is how you can combine. So the messaging here is very simple. If you have a data set which is enriched by location, which is latitude and longitude, then you can use any of this type of chart or any of the type of layer in the geo map, whether it is choropleth or whether it is heat map. Now there is one layer called flow. Flow layer is very useful when you show in the freight management system, like if you show right source location to destination location, what is the flow of data, something like that. Heat map is very much used in terms of you wanted to understand what is the most say for example in case of earthquake, what is the most heated area, like where the earthquake can take place. So if you change the things, automatically chart will get adjusted, and you can see that heat map is showing that how it is looking like. So these entire area is more prone to earthquake rather compared to these areas or these areas, right? So that's how you can understand by the color. Obviously you can change the color combinations as well. Okay, this is how you can build the two different type of charts. Make sense? Wanted to view in the view mode, this is how it will look like. So any question on this? Are we clear on how we can enrich a data set for GeoMap and how we can use that into the chart? Are you clear?
Yeah. Do we have an exercise that we're going to do for this later or
yes,
no?
you can do that in like whatever I have done in the live class. You can do it. Yes, sir. I'll guide you each one of you.
So will you share this exercise one spreadsheet with us?
I think the initial spreadsheet, the Superstore data spreadsheet is already there, shared with you. Only thing, this earthquake data is not being shared with you. I will share it.
Yeah, because we don't have anything with longitude and latitude.
Yes, I will share it with you. I'll send it to Nitin, and he will circulate.
Yeah. Do you share the model, like the completed models? the completed models and stories with this one class as well?
If you use the same tenant, I can share these tenant details as well to you. If you use the same tenant, then I can share within the tenant, but model I cannot share you in the in terms of like to a different tenant. That's why I'm saying you will create the data set, you will create the model yourself, and then create the chart. Okay, I'll show you. I'll guide you how to do that.
Okay, yeah, if we're gonna do that in class together, then we're fine.
Yeah, we'll do that. So now first approach I took is that I created a data set. Okay, here I created a data set. Sorry, my bad. I'm doing back and forth scrolling. So yeah, so I created a data set, and I showed you how this data set can be geo enriched, and it can be before, because you have geo enriched the data set, you can use it into the map. Okay, that is how this is what is the purpose of this. I'll save this story as well. Okay. Just a sec, I'll go to the edit mode and I'll save this story as well. Save. And I'll say I second.
Can you call it heat map or something?
Okay. Right. So this is how you can create it. Now I will show you how you can create a data analyzer. The beauty of the challenge, like not the challenge, the limitations of the data analyzers is that you cannot use them into the story. And I just give you the glimpse yesterday. So if you use the same data and same say now I have created a model, right? One model is, you can see, if I go to the exercise folder, one model is your first data set and second is my earthquake data sets. If I wanted to use that particular model to analyze my data, I can create a data analyzer. But this data analyzer, once you save it, it cannot be used into a story. Okay. So I showed you yesterday also. I'll create a model. I will use an existing model exercise from the exercise folder. Okay. Why showing? Just a sec. Let me check. Okay. So if you wanted to create a data analyzer, so yeah, I will use an existing model. Okay. Or I will try to use I'll try to use a existing model. Say for example, this workforce model I will use, and I wanted to analyze that data. Simple. So here in this case, it's just an ad hoc analysis of data into a pivot table. I showed you yesterday, and you can see, right? You can add these columns here. There are so many rows, and here. So this is the employee data. I just wanted to see by company code, GL account, say for example, and this I'll give it here, business unit, departments, say for example, and country they belong to. And then if you wanted to alter the rows, that you can do. Departments, I don't want to see GL account, maybe business unit at the top, and say they are cost centers. And then I wanted to see FT. and their charges. This is what I wanted to see. Now you can apply a filter to this data set. Any dimension you can use to filter. Okay, and you wanted to see like job level. No, I will not say use job level, something else I can use. Dimension. Say for example, I would say positions. Status. I just give only A is there. Let's see just A and no value was there. So I just gave this status. If I wanted to do kind of this kind of ad hoc analysis, right, on a tabular data, then I will create a data analyzer. But this data analyzer is kind of a story, as Sadia you were telling yesterday, like it can be related as a story. This data analyzer cannot be used further into a story. It itself is a story. Okay. To few important things you can do. You can just save this. You can refresh the data. You can just apply filters. Okay, then, and if you have hierarchies, you can create the use the hierarchies to create your own data sets. Like you always see that hierarchies in that. So this is what it is, the data analyzer. Now I will take a pause here. I want you all of you to do the same exercise, and if you wanted to save, okay, it gets saved in your as an insight, because this data analyzer brings the insight out of the data. So that's why it is called insights, and the icon for the insights are this. You go to the file, exercise. This is what is the insights icon. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Again, if you open it, it will come to that particular. Okay, so I want all of you to create till this far, and then I will deep dive into data model today. Okay, and I'll create.
Where is this workforce file located?
So this is I have used. This is not a file. This is so when you create the data analyzer, you can use a live connections or a existing model. So I have just used a model that is being provided by SAP. So as I said, some out of the box solutions is being provided by SAP. So I just reuse that. Okay, because I don't have any model which is basically live connection.
Okay, so we're not using any of the lab activity exercise files for this?
No, for data analyzer, we are not using.
Okay, so you want us to do this with any model, correct?
Any model that you have available in your system. Yeah. You will have some models by default, which is provided by SAP. Okay. Now, each one of you can download from LMS this folder, this file called Superstores data. That first file you can create and create a data set, enrich the data set by area name, and tell me like when it is done how, and I'll tell you how you can create a simple geomap out of that data set. Okay. In the meantime, I will try to circulate the file with Nitin, the earthquake file. Okay.
So which file we are going to use? Data?
Superstore exercise, this file.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the file you are going to use. Exercise 2, Superstore data. You can start putting, creating a data set. If you wanted to share your screen at anywhere you are stuck, share it with me and I can guide.
So what model are we going to use?
Sorry, Francis?
I'm asking like, yes. So what model are we going to use?
What model?
Do we have to create one ourselves?
No, you are going to create not the model, the data set. Data set is a smaller version of model. Model I have not yet created. Okay. Today we are going to create model after this. So we are going to create the data set. If you go to your SSC tenant, you can see data set and click on that, and then you will see from CSV file. We are going to create a data set first.
For this file, when we are doing geo hierarchy in our data set, should we do select a column in our data set or specify from a list of countries?
Okay.
No, list of countries is basically you will not use the list of countries. You will use the other option.
Okay.
The first option that you said.
I'm sorry, is there instruction? I got the data pulled in. Is there instructions we're supposed to be following on what we're supposed to be doing here?
Yes. So the first thing you should do there, you should move your postal code as dimension instead of measure. And you can share your screen. I can guide you.
Melon, are you sharing or should I share?
I can share. Hold on. Yeah, I changed the postal code. Hold on. I don't mind sharing. I want to learn this stuff too, for sure. Okay, so I changed the postal code to dimension.
Correct. Now you need to enrich the data set for geography. So what you can do from the action below the action button, what is written at the top left side at the top in the Microsoft Teams, there is nothing called annotate.
I have a details transform log.
No, yeah, not there. On the left side at the top. Left side, no, further left. Yeah, there you go in the actions. Beside that actions, you go to the third button, and you click on the drop down area name.
Oh, awesome. Okay, I remember this.
Yeah. So from that you will be giving. So it is asking first country and region. Select a column from your data set. So you have to give the country first. You can choose country. Okay. Now if you go to next region, it is asking select a column to state region. So you will give state. Yes. Now just say okay. Now your data set is getting enriched by geo, not geomap, geo enriched. It is getting geo enriched. Now you say
I'm not seeing the option of countries. Did I should I have changed it to dimension also?
I need to check that in your screen after this you share. So this is how Marilyn you just updated the like what do you call your data sets as geo enriched. If you wanted to create a hierarchy, so you can see here there is a geo hierarchy got created. Country state at the bottom. You can see like right bottom. Right? You can see there. Yeah, there itself. If you scroll up, you can see that in the blue bar, geo hierarchy. Right at the very after the dimension, exactly after the dimension.
Yeah, I see. I'm with you right here is what you're pointing out, right?
Exactly.
I was just looking at the data. That's great.
Yeah. So that's how you are enriching the data. Now, if you wanted to create a hierarchy, just click on the hierarchy button, which is beside that geo enrichment button on the top left corner. Not there. That is the right corner. Not there. From where you started for enriching the geo, left side. Yes, hierarchy. Yes. That is the hierarchy. If you wanted to create a hierarchy, you can create a level-based hierarchy, and you can give the name of hierarchy. Here you can give it as a product hierarchy, the product or level-based hierarchy, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so I can create a hierarchy.
Okay. So you can
I can do country and then region. That's what you're saying?
No, you can the geo enrichment is done. Here you use product hierarchy. You create a product hierarchy. Say you create category, subcategory, and product name.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Category, subcategory. Again, you have to give the level 2.
Okay, so
subcategory.
Subcategory, okay,
Yes.
subcategory.
Then product.
Okay, and then product, I see. Okay, so I think subproduct, Sadia, you've been creating hierarchies, I think. I don't know, Francis, have you been creating hierarchies?
Product.
Oh,
Yes or no? I don't know if you've been doing this or not yet. I have not.
well, no, I'm not.
So
Okay,
it's
well,
like
this is
if
good.
you have truckload, you can have truckload and the intermodal under one truckload or over the road thing. So you have two categories under it. Same with tank truck.
Okay, okay. More like breaking it down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
hierarchy
is
is
that,
something like if you think about employee hierarchy, director,
Yeah.
senior managers, senior consultant, and so on.
what's the third one? Product name or product ID? I'm
Product
sorry.
name. In
Product
this
name,
case, you
sorry.
use product name because name makes more sense rather than the ID.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Now, if you see, right, product hierarchy got created. Now this data set is being created and you can save it. And save, how will you save it? At the left corner, yes, beside file, save. Yes, you have to give the name, wherever you wanted to keep it stored. You have to give the location and you can.
Is this a data set or?
It's a data set. It's a data
yeah.
set. It's a data set. We have not created the model yet. We'll create the model.
Okay. Okay, so I'm saving this in our team working file, not public. Oh. Okay, so that's what we do for now?
That's what you do for while you create the data set. Now, when you can use this data set into a story to create chart and map and table and anything there, that will come to as a second part. In the meantime, Sadia, you were facing some issue. Just show me.
Yes, so I don't see this country over here.
Let's see. What is your
the option for country?
You have to scroll down probably. Not there. Do you see?
This is the last one.
Do you see in your data? Okay, you have already chosen the country. Can you cancel this?
Yes.
Yeah. Now start from the again. Just click on any of the cell rather than the selecting the country as a yes. Now you start from just say that end is the data. No, not there. End is the data.
Enrich the data.
I mean to say third button in the on the yes area name. This doesn't have a. Now you try to choose that. Just see if you are getting the country. Should be getting the country.
No.
Discard this. Can you load the data one more time?
Okay.
Close. Click on that button. Close button. It will automatically get discarded.
This one, right?
Yeah, that is going back, and beside that, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Step is. Save it. It is that is already there. Just give a different name. Yeah, first you change the postal code as from the measure to as a dimension. And then
so country is there in dimensions.
yes. Now you try to geo-enrich the data, area name. Let's see if you are getting country now. You should be getting the country.
Yes. Oh, so it was download issue. Okay.
No, hold on. After that, you have to also mention the region.
Okay.
You just mentioned the region as a state to make sure the geomap properly plots. You can go further deep, but I'm just giving 2 levels. The data set is such that it is going to 2 levels. Okay, just say okay. The moment you do that, you will see that after the dimension, there is a geo enrichment. Geo dimension will be created. Go up, little scroll up, right side. Up,
yeah.
Geo hierarchy. Now, if you wanted to create a hierarchy like Madeline has created, just select the dimensions. Category, subcategory, product.
Okay.
Also created.
Thank you.
Now you save this.
Yes, I have to save this.
Francis, are you okay creating till this part? How to create a data set? How you will enrich it by geo? Are you stuck anywhere?
No, I created mine successfully. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Now if you wanted to create a story out of it, Sadia, you can stay there and I can guide you how can you get a story, or Madeline, if you wanted to do, you can also stay there, either of you. Yeah. So now you wanted to use this data set for a story. Now you go to the home, click on the story, just create a canvas page probably.
How do you decide which one is better for my story, responsive or canvas?
I'll tell you again, but I'm just telling you right now as you ask the question. Responsive page are basically auto adjustable. Canvas is not auto adjustable.
Okay.
So responsive page are basically if you drag and drop something here and there, it will automatically adjust its length and height based on the screen size. Canvas will not. Canvas will increase the scroll bar.
So which one should I prefer here?
In here, we will choose the classic design experience. I'll tell you what are the difference when I talk about stories. Now I am not discussing stories. Now you can create any chart, any geomap. If you wanted to create a geomap, you just create a geomap, right? Okay, just give a base map. This is the base map. Okay, now you add a layer. In case of area enrichment, what could be your layer type? Only choropleth.
Yeah.
Right. And then give a location dimension. Coming. I think your data set not got saved. Oh yeah, it came now. See. Okay. Not coming. It should be named as geo hierarchy.
Do I have to choose the model?
Yes, you have to choose the model. Oh, sorry, my bad. You have not chosen the model. Right. This is the data store. The data set you are giving. Now you have to choose one. There you go. Right, and give the measure. You can see the plotting has happened. Like me, you guys are also getting the plot. If you wanted to change the style as instead of choropleth, if you wanted to change the style as bubble, you can do that. And you can give any filter. This is multiple selection filter. You can give a range as well.
Oh, we can give a range also?
Yes. Cancel this. So click on the filter. You see beside wherever range is possible, you see there is a bracket. In bracket, it is saying range.
Oh,
Postal code, order date. Yes, date makes more sense.
okay.
You can change the chloroplet from chloroplet to bubble. It will see the change. No, not there, not there. Right side, right side. Here you cannot change the layer type if you are enriching by area.
Area name.
Now, if you
So
go
this
below,
is
bubble color you give profit, bubble size you need to mention. No, yeah. Bubble color profit and bubble size you give something else. I mean to say not like that. Bubble color you give different measure. Can close that, cross that, and add a measure or dimension. You can give a dimension as well if you want. If you wanted to see by, say, for example, product hierarchy. The one hierarchy you created.
this one?
Yes. See how it behaves?
Yes.
And you can choose from in the chart geo hierarchy at the top. There is a hierarchy button, right? You can click on that at the top left corner. No, not there. Left corner inside the chart.
This one?
Yes. Yeah, just say product name. Yeah, just give more level till level 3. See, changing. You can see that within the United States how it is getting changed. I mean to say this is a flavor. Now you can play around with this.
Yes.
If you change by profit and sales, different measures you choose, you will get a lot more bubble. And yeah, you give the region, see lot more bubble.
Okay.
Within a region, how is your product category is divided?
Yes.
This looks like pretty colorful.
Yes.
Madeline, are you able to also follow, or you wanted to share and do the same? You
Yeah.
can save this story, Sadia. Go to more.
Are you say? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I'm playing around with it as well. Oops.
Yeah. Now, can you create another data set using that earthquake data and enrich it by coordinate?
Yes.
dimensions. I'm not seeing the
You just double click on that, zip that file.
yeah, I mean, Claudia and Francis, feel free to save these in our, if we want to put like a folder in our shared directory, you know, then we could all look at them if we want later. It's up to you guys.
Yes.
Are you able to see that? You need to
Just
unzip that. Yeah, is that unzipped, right?
Unzip it. Let me download it again.
So are you moving on to do another one with the next data set? I'm sorry,
Yes, she's doing that. Yes. Yeah, she's using the earthquake data.
So this is the other one, man, the longitude, latitude one.
Okay, sounds good. I'll go there then. So I want to. Okay, so so we go and we do the other data set is what the deal is, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we have to download the other data set next. Okay.
And in this, if you see, a lot of columns are not required. You can keep it, you can delete it. GT, that column is not required, you can delete it. Yeah, click on the three dot, yeah, delete column.
Okay.
Go to the right, further, some of the other column M is not required. Those are some, I don't know, like what is that? Mix. I just download it. No, you have some more columns to delete, which doesn't make sense. The last three column Q, NPH, NGRM.
Can we delete 3 of them together?
Just try to press Control and see if you can select 3 together. I don't think so. I'm not able to.
No.
And it is one by one.
Are there keys that we can use to delete these?
Keys in the sense?
Like shift delete, something like that?
No. That's the short mouse. There is no shortcut key for this.
Okay.
Okay. Now change, no, before even that, you can change the depth and magnitude as dimension. I'm just telling you, in case you want to do it, how to change, because that will also be exercise how you can change. No, that is your dragging and dropping measure to dimension. I just wanted you to create a duplicate column.
Oh, duplicate column, okay. Which one should I create a duplicate?
Magnitude and depth.
Magnitude, okay. Magnitude and which one?
Depth.
Width.
Yeah, there you go. I can see to the side, towards the right.
Depth?
Yes. Yes, depth.
Yep. Magnitude and depth, duplicate columns.
Okay.
And why do we do duplicate columns? So we can massage the data, I assume?
Yes, just to show you how you can do that. There is no purpose for this. You can move those duplicate columns as dimension. Just to show you. So this basically this data set I chose, you can delete some column and you can do it. Now if you go to you can do the geo enrichment by coordinates. Coordinates. you have to give the dimension name because it will create a dimension. You can give instead of location, you can give something or some other name, my coordinates or something, whatever you wanted to give. And then you have to give the latitude column to latitude or longitude column to longitude. You can, it will allow you to choose something else, but system is clever enough to choose the latitude and longitude. If it is not choosing, then you have to make the choice.
So it already did, right?
Yeah, it already did.
Okay.
Do I have to enrich?
Yeah, just say okay.
Okay.
So what are we doing? We're creating dimensions on latitude and longitude? Or I'm sorry, converting them to measures?
No.
That's just for our practice to see how to change dimension to measures.
Yes.
Oh.
So that's why we duplicated 2 columns to just change them from measures to dimensions. So it's a practice for us.
I think there is something wrong here. I do not see the location column got created. Can you go to the left?
Yes.
Users gave a coordinate name of that name is coordinate, right? To left.
Yes.
No. In the data set, go to the.
Oh.
The coordinate column did not get generated properly. So maybe you have selected magnitude by wrong. Cancel this. Can you click on the detail? No. Can you click on the details and come again at the top? Now can you click on the details again? Yes. Go below, scroll down. I think this you need to delete magnitude _1. That is not the location column. You have some error in definition. You chose the magnitude column for instead of latitude and longitude in one of them by mistake. And you can delete the dimension Q from here. Here also you can do it. Now you geo-enrich again one more time by coordinates. I deleted the geo-enrichment. Now again you do that. Just say okay. If you wanted to give this as name as coordinates, you can give. Now it is location column is properly created.
Yes.
Save this model. Save this.
We can also rename the name at this point also, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Right now you can use this particular data set also for creating the chart stories in and create a geomap.
To this canvas.
Anything. A classic design experience.
Classic, yeah. I tried the other one, it didn't work.
Yeah. So geomap.
You have to give the
Bubble layer, right?
yeah, you
or
can
heat.
Heat, you can use heat also as you want.
So for area for coordinates, we can choose any of these then?
Any of these
Okay.
will work. Provided you have the right data.
Yeah. Oh,
you have to choose the model. Just keep the magnitude for This is how you can create a map. Francis, are you able to follow also?
Yes, I'm watching what you're doing. Or what Celia is doing.
Yeah, are you doing it yourself as well, Francis?
I'm watching for now. I was doing the first one, and then but this one I'm watching how she's doing it.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and share and try doing it yourself?
Yeah, you want to share your screen?
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for us to practice because then we can do it ourselves and we learn. Like I just screwed a bunch of stuff up and found out stuff that doesn't work. Learning, through trial and error.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So this was the first one that we did.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I was trying to put the bubble. Sorry.
Yeah, if you wanted to increase the bubble, just click on the hierarchy. Yeah, at the top. No, not there. In the chart, inside the chart. Yeah, just click on geo hierarchy and choose region.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Going into the deep dive of the.
Okay.
Earlier you were seeing at the country level. That is, all countries are US. Here it is all the states.
All the states. Okay. So the one that Sadia was just doing now. For the longitude and latitude.
You have to create first the data sets. You can save this story for your future reference. Yeah, remove the model. Brought the model 2 times. That's it.
So share the version. Okay. I think it's already saved. This is the data set.
Yeah, this is the data set. Oh no, you have to, for the other one, you have to choose.
I have to import it again.
Import the other file.
California EQ.
EQ, yes.
What are we doing? Deleting GT and which other columns are we deleting?
You Q, NPH,
EQ.
NGRN, those are not required. NPH, NGRN, all those columns.
Okay.
NGRM.
Yes, NGRN, NPH.
So what's the next 10?
The next thing is that you have to create a magnitude dimension and the depth dimension. So what you have to do, click on the magnitude and duplicate the column.
Dimension?
No, duplicate. So to create in the duplicate, you have to choose the column in the layout, in the data set, in the middle, not here, not in the details tab. So you can see magnitude column. Yes, choose that and click on that. Duplicate the column. You have another column created. Similarly, for the depth, you can do that.
For the what, sorry? Depth?
Depth, yes.
Magnitude and depth.
Yeah, move those two columns to dimension.
The one that the duplicated one?
Yes.
Did I delete this column?
Yes, you can do. Now you can geo enrich the data by coordinates, not by area name. Coordinates. You click on that. Yes. Coordinates. Give the coordinate dimension name and the coordinate and
Sorry?
yes, this is looking good. Just say okay. Now save this data set. You can use these data sets for creating your story.
Classic.
Classic design experience.
Oh.
Probably just add the location dimension and then add the measure.
Date? For here?
You can give any filter. If you do not want to give, that is also fine. It's just a filter purpose. Filtering out the data. So hope This makes sense to all of you?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
And then do we change that to city in the location?
Yeah, we can do that, but I think the data is such that it will not correlate. So I just gave 2 level. You can always do that. If your data is your city level of data is properly, like set, then it will do that. Otherwise, if it will always check against the master list of list of countries, cities, regions in the by countries in SSC. So if you remember, like there was a file I downloaded and I showed that these are the countries and everything supported. So that particular against that particular file, it will be checked. Your data set will be checked whether it's correctly defined or not, and accordingly you can divide further levels. Okay, now this is what is data set. And this has these functionalities, but ultimately data sets are not good for creating your data a robust artifacts to for your analytical modeling or planning pieces. So that's why, and it can only hold 2000 rows, right? So if you wanted to increase the number of rows, you have to start creating data models. Do any one of you want to create a data analyzer quickly? Francis, you can save this story for your future reference. Quickly a data analyzer if you want to create. Also, just to see that what is the difference between data analyzer and data set. Data set is kind of.
So the key with data set is 2000 rows, you said, right?
Yes.
That's not very good for us then.
Yes. That's why you have to create models. And in the models also you can enrich the data by geomap for geomap. And you have to do that. I showed it into the data set itself. In the model, it will be very easy for you. Wanted to create a data analyzer quickly.
What file are we going to use to create the data analyzer?
Data analyzer is for just ad hoc basis if you wanted to analyze any data, right? That's why. But use case wise is just ad hoc analysis. There is not much huge use case.
Okay. Oh, okay.
As the name suggests, is for analyzing the data on ad hoc basis. Nothing else. If you go to home screen, Francis, and I can tell you the path how you can create the data analyzer.
Is there a limit of rows for data analyzer?
No. Yes, by default, because it's a cross tab, right? In data analyzer, by default it is 2000 rows.
Okay.
SSC has that default limitations, 2000 rows.
Wait a minute. So data analyzer is 2002?
Yes.
So does that mean we pretty much have to create a model on everything we do then?
Yes, mostly you have to create model. These are all for ad hoc purposes, like a small thing, agile. You wanted to do quickly, you have to upload a file and quickly show it into a chart, then this is for it. But it's not like so for your lifelong use. Lifelong use is always you have to better create model. Okay. That can keep on where you can keep on delete. You can delete the data, upload the data, and all.
So if we're doing something small ad hoc, you're saying do an analyzer because it's quicker than creating a model.
But data analyzer through for when you create data analyzer, basically you cannot create the data analyzer using CSV file. So that's the disadvantage. You can use live connection or existing model. So that's why you cannot use CSV file in creating data analyzer. While data set, you can use CSV file or import connections. So you have to remember these two facts also. Okay. So all these combined together is model. Okay. Now, if you wanted to, Francis, if you as you are in the screen, if you wanted to do that, can you go to the folder? Yes. See if there is any samples public. If you go inside the public, no, right side, public. Some models are there. We can use any of these model to create a data analyzer. So click on the 3 bars on the left corner, 3 horizontal bars, 4 horizontal bars, the left corner, very top corner. Just you don't even have the data analyzer options. Oh, there you go, data analyzer.
Yeah, we have it.
Click on the data analyzer. You can see here, data analyzer can only be created from a data source which is live connection or an existing model based on live connection. So right now you choose existing model to test how it looks like. You can go inside public and choose a model, any model that is there. Just choose something like 2023. See anything, any models are there properly. Yeah, model folder, in the model folder. In the model folder. Yeah, third from the bottom is. It's not allowing you.
No, I'm saying, sorry, I didn't know I was on mute. I'm saying these models are what we use in the company. So is it going to mess it up? 'Cause I don't
No,
want
it's
to.
not going to mess it up. It's just you are going to just take a look at it. Not going to mess up. Just use any of this. But yes, that's it. You don't save it and just see right now. Just check any of this Sapphire on. Anything that you wanted to see. Yeah, success factor. So it is bringing your data analyzer. Now, if you go to the designer tab at the top, now you can choose whichever we wanted to see. You have to click on those gray buttons. That if you click on the right side button, it will add you into the column here. Yes, see, it is a basically pivot. Basically a pivot.
Okay.
Yeah, this is how you can create your data analyzer and save it if you want to use it for. This basically brings the insight of the data. It's as simple as that. But these two are basically very basic form of use of data set. Now you can use this, you can create model out of, instead of this, you can create model and that model you can use for future use. So, okay. Any questions till so far? Otherwise, I will start on the model.
So we're going to learn how to create models. Is that what's next?
Yes.
Okay.
How to create models. Any question? No question? Okay, fair. Before I start going to show you how to create model, I will quickly jump to the LMS. Okay. And cover some of the theoretical part I have not covered yesterday. And then from there, take the model. Now here we talked about this overview of connection yesterday. We talked about the data preparation basics. Just open that also. I'll just open it. We talked about all these slides here yesterday. Just to recap, what is model, what is acquired model and live model, what is in a model, okay, I'll come to this all these details right now after this. Now this is what we saw, data sets. What is data sets? How you can create data sets into the SSE. And what is the difference comparison between data sets and models? Okay. You can see these are the comparison parameters and how it does it look. Features of SSE model, features of SSE model data, and I'll show you all these things. And then data foundation views, and then data sizing limitations for model and data sets. That's what we have yesterday studied. Okay, so I'll go there. And then performing basic data modeling. How you can perform basic data modeling. So this is what we are now going to take a look. Okay, so we'll see how to create a model and what is meant by data wrangling. Data wrangling is nothing but we touched upon the data wrangling in the data set yesterday a bit. Data wrangling is nothing but you are basically using those smart transformation functions to create, concatenate, replace, all those functionalities. Okay, that is called data wrangling. So creating model, there are multiple ways to create model. One important way of creating the model, we started it yesterday, but just to recap, by uploading a CSV file. Another important way is by connecting to a live connection. The third one is import connection. And the fourth one is absolutely create from scratch. Okay. Now you can create from a blank model, you can create from a file or data sets, you can create from an import connection, or you can create from a live data connection. These are the four ways. Now, when you wanted to create a model, this is a little bit of primitive schemes. So like it is used to look like this earlier releases. You can import a file into a computer and start creating a model. Okay. Right. In the model, what is data wrangling? Data wrangling is data used in SSE models for stories and analytical applications may need to be modified for reporting and analysis purposes. For example, data from source systems that is imported into the SSE model have multiple columns for employee names. Like there is a one column called name, and you wanted to divide it into first name and last name. You can just split that functionality you can use. Similarly, if you wanted to first name and last name is divided into different column and you wanted to show it into one column, then you can just concatenate. Those functionalities are already available in data model. When you create data set, when you create model by CSV file. Okay, those are wrangling functions. So some of the wrangling functions here, you can see here, some of the wrangling functions are concatenation, split, extract, replace, change, and filter. We have seen all of this yesterday when we are trying to create a model based on the CSV file. Okay, so you can see some of the screenshot is here given. So here it is extract. Okay, this is how it looks like. Here it is concatenating. Okay, so these are and smart suggestions also comes. That's why it is called smart transformation. Okay, also. So you can see other option of wrangling. Access the custom express editor. So this is the custom express editor where you can also give your own custom expressions to wrangle the data. Okay, so like here, if you see in this slide, it is given VP concatenate year, if month is less than 10, concatenate month and then month, something like that. Right. So there are conditional wrangling is there. That is possible. Okay. Then here you can combine two data from two sources. So here the wrangling is possible. Another option, wrangling the data, includes combining data from two sources. When you upload the data.
Excuse me. Sorry. On the last screen, so you said that we can customize our own wrangling rules, right? Wrangling so rules. They can be saved for all the upcoming spreadsheets, or it will be just to that spreadsheet?
That particular model.
Okay.
that particular model. So so if you see there is an incoming file, there is another incoming file. These are two incoming files. You wanted to join these two files together and then upload that into a single model. That is also possible. Okay. Combine files, combine data. You can easily combine data from another source. In this case, entity is the common column from the map. So here it has to be a common column. That is also possible. This is one of the data wrangling. So these are the different data wrangling is possible. So these slides I wanted to cover before I get into the system and start creating the model. Okay. Does it make sense? Any questions on these slides? So there are creating models there are 4 ways of creating model. Blank model from a file or a data set, from import data connection or live data connection. And after you start creating the model, you can do the wrangle of the data. So now we are going to create the model, and I'll share my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. Okay. So before I create a model, this is my model structure. I told you yesterday to take a look at this file. So leave aside the first tab. We talked about this currency conversion table yesterday and we uploaded there. But this is my model. Okay. So the model is like SAP. There is these dimensions are there: sales organization, product, customer, entity, and account. Account is basically not a dimension. Is basically represents your sales, discount, gross sales, returns, kind of like things like that. They are basically in SSE world. There are basically like 5 types of accounts which are possible. One is asset accounts. In finance, you can understand. Then it can be expense account. Then it can be income account, and then it can be liability and equities, LEQ. Okay, so those are account types. So these are the dimensions. Dimensions can be of different types. Dimensions can be firstly generic dimension, second time dimension, third account type dimensions possible. Okay, we'll see all these things in one by one. So what I'll do in this exercise, I'm going to create the model basically from scratch. Okay, now let's see that into the system. I'll go here. I'll go to my folder exercise and I'll create a model. It takes you how we wanted to create a model. These are the 4 options we have. We discussed about it a little bit yesterday. We tried to create a model using a CSV file and we created a model. Today we are going to create from the scratch. Okay, so I'll just create a model. And in this case, there are 2 options. One is classic accounting based model and new model, which is recommended. So I'm going to create a new model instead of classic account model. But when yesterday we created the model using the CSV file, at that time, it created by default the classic account based model. Okay. So whenever you upload a CSV file and create a model out of it, it will always create a classic account model. But if you are creating a model from the blank, you have a choice whether you wanted to create a new model or a classic account model. In this case, I will create a new model. What is the advantage of creating a new model? The new model structure enriches the modeling experience thanks to its increased flexibility and improved data management. As opposed to the classic account models, which is this, the new model structure allows you to integrate both accounts and measures with many possible combinations. Okay. Note, however, there are few limitations you should consider. The limitations you can learn more whenever, if you click on this, it will take you to the help center and discuss all those limitations and all. Okay, I'm not concentrating on the limitation. I'm just creating a new model now. I selected that. Okay. Now it has taken me to this level. By default, for any model, okay, when you create from the scratch, it starts as planning. Okay, it starts as planning model by default. And in a planning model, default dimension is version and date. So that's why dimensions, version, and date are automatically embedded into it. Okay. Now we talked about these buttons on the yesterday also. I'll go through this button in, and I'll keep this model as a planning model. I'll create this model as a planning model. Okay, I'll not change this. If you wanted to change, you can go to the preference from here or here, either of these, and you can change the type of the model from here by unclicking that. Then it will become analytic model. But for this particular purpose, I'm keeping it as a planning model. Okay. Now, whenever you create a planning model, at that point of time, you need to define a column on which the planning will be done. Okay. So you have to define a column. So here I am choosing the date column. That means date column means nothing but this date dimension at which level the planning will be done. So that is the column on which the timeline of the planning will be decided. Okay. So I am selecting again, going back to this, and I'm just seeing this is the general setting planning. I have created the planning model, and this is the date column. Now here, data disaggregation. So planning is a process. When you create a particular model, planning is a process of writing down the data on a, in BPC world, right? What we do, like we write something plan value into Excel, and then we say save. Automatically it gets saved into the database. So that's why that data is basically disaggregate instead of aggregation. So you have disaggregation can be based on data locking. Once you lock the data for planning, then you can do the disaggregation, or based on the validation rule. If you have any validation rule that you can use. Okay. So that's the first thing. Second thing, for any model, if you are enabling the data audit, validation rules, data locking, data lock state, and all those things, that can be done. And say for example, like you do a data audit. So if enabled, data changes will be tracked in this model. So anything that you change in the data in this model, that will be tracked properly. A log will be available where security or data changes. Okay. Validation rule, if enabled, data of the model will be validated to validation rule. So you can create validation rules. So you can say that all the company code should start with Z. That can be a validation rule that you can enable. If you enable it, it will ask for the validation rule. Data locking, if enabled, the data of the model can be locked with the data locking tool. That means no change can be done, even if it is a planning model that you can define. Then restricted export, if enabled, model cannot be exported. So model data cannot be exported into the CSV if you enable it. Other than that, you can export. Search to insight, I'll talk about search to insight, smart predict, smart discovery, and all those things later. Search to insight is a feature which is a natural algorithm feature. If you enable it, then search to insight is possible on this model. Okay, and when you enable it, it automatically create a database index on that model. Okay, it says the switch on these options, the index to the index of the model. All dimensions and members of the model will then searchable in the search to insight. Okay, then comes data access. If you see model data privacy, if it is enabled, only the owner of the model and the user with roles that are granted access security roles can access the data of the model. If you model data privacy, if you click, you can enable security to provide access to this data set as well. Okay. Then comes data access control. Data access control is something. So this is these security features here at the model level. Now, if a model has 4 columns or dimensions, and you wanted to restrict profit center dimensions, say for example, to starting with P P star, then you can do that through data access control. That is a row based data security. Row level data security you can achieve through data access control in SAP Analytics Cloud modeling. Okay, the moment you enable it, it will ask you version, okay, and data access control. Right now there is only version, apart from date there is only version dimension is there. That's why it was giving me versions. If you create more dimension, it will start giving you more options. Okay, here it will give you more options. So this is the access and privacy tab in the preference of the model. Okay, then come the date settings. If you wanted to generate the fiscal year data, like what is the difference between fiscal and date calendar? So in India, basically the fiscal starts from April to March, whereas the calendar year is January to December. So if you wanted to, out of the date column, if you wanted to derive the fiscal, that you can do. Okay, and you can give the generate the data properly as the way you want. Okay, that's what you can do. Right, I'll do not change anything. I'll cancel. Then comes the planning. If you enable the planning, these are the options we have. Okay, then come currency. Now if you enable the currency for the model level, automatically it will ask for a currency conversion tables, on which if you are applying any conversion, that will take place, and it needs a date. It needs a column date, which will tell you on which date the currency conversion will take place. Okay, so this has to be given. Okay, you can also create a currency variable. You can create a variable and then say a conversion rule. Okay, that you can do if you want. Right, variable ID is currency variable description, default value nothing. So if you enter a value called USD, all the values in the transaction data will be converted into USD based on the SAP CEP currency table that I have uploaded into earlier into the system. I'll cancel it again. I'll not do any changes there. Right, then structure property. So these are some of the structured property, custom priority for calculation and things like that. Very rarely used. This is not very much used. Then comes the data and performance. Optimize the story build performance. If you click on that, what will happen? The model will be optimized so that stories can be built on this model very easily. Okay. Then come optimize recommended planning area, then maintenance, then redeploy model. All these options are there. So these are the preferences, and the preferences are very important in case of a model. How you set it up, what are the model type you choose, that is very important to talk about. So first I will do here some of the changes. These are all default I am keeping. I'll just enable the currency. Okay, so I'll use this currency table and I'll keep it like this. Okay, so the model I have created is a planning model. By default, these are the 2 dimensions. Now, if you see my data, there are other dimensions as well. Sales organization, product, customer, entity, account. So let's create each of these dimensions one by one. So I will create a dimension by adding a new dimension. The moment you create on adding a new dimension, what will happen? It will give you options. Whether you wanted to create an account dimension, whether it's a generic, whether it's a date type, or it's an organizational type. Organizational means company code, profit center, cost center, like that. Okay. So I will first create this particular dimension, which is SAP CP underscore sales organization. SAP underscore CP underscore sales. Okay. Sales organization. I'll tell that this is a generic dimension. Now here is the option. I was talking about it yesterday. If you click on this, this is a public dimension, then that dimension will be available in other model apart from this model as well. Okay, so I'm not making it public. I am keeping it as it is. So it is a private dimension to this particular model that I am creating. Okay. The moment you create the dimension, you can see this picture got changed. Now another dimension came into picture. I'll give you a descriptions of this dimension called sales organization. Okay. And do I need to allow data access control on this dimension? No. Do I have to import data locking ownership or responsible we need to change? No, I am not doing. Do I need to enable the currency? Yes, I will enable the currency for this dimension. Now, if you see the beauty here, the data set is being given to all of you, and there is a field called currency. So every sales organization has a currency, like a company code has a currency, right? So that's why I have enabled the currency for this particular dimension. Okay. So I create the currency. Then there is something here, you can see there is something called H1 is there, which is basically representing the hierarchy. Okay, root, total and all. And there is something called entity. So entity is a property of the sales organization. S001 belongs to ENT 0001. Similarly, 2 belongs to 2, 3 belongs to 3, 4 belongs to 4, 5 belongs to 5, 6 belongs to 6. That's what is the relationship. So I will have for adding the entity as a property of the sales organization, I need to create a property. That means you are basically creating a attribute. I'll just say entity. Data type text. Okay. So this entity custom property got created. Now you wanted to create a hierarchy. I will create a hierarchy. Sorry, I think I have to rename it properly. Okay. Now I'll create a parent-child hierarchy or a level-based hierarchy. Now this is important to understand. What is a parent-child hierarchy? Let's understand. Parent-child hierarchy is something for every there is at the very bottom level there is something called leaf node. Okay, and on top of that there is a parent node, and on top of that there could be another parent node like that. Now this is kind of a tree structure. So for example, this leaf node can be multiple. Okay, they belong to this parent belongs to this parent may belong to another parent. Okay, there are some node directly belongs to this particular parent, like this. The parent-child hierarchy is relationship of the parent-child hierarchy is this. So like this. Yeah, this is another relationship. This is how typically the parent-child hierarchy looks like, and at the top, very top, there is something called root node. Okay, at the very top. Right. This is how the parent-child hierarchy will look like. So every parent has a child node. So in this parent, this is the child node, this is the child node. That child node could be another parent node or a leaf node. Okay. That's how the parent-child hierarchy looks like. So in this case, if you see there is a root node is being given, so I will create a parent-child hierarchy. Now, You can tell me how you are creating like this and understanding this. Looking at the requirement, how will I understand? So I'm just doing it in the back, like a back calculation kind of thing. I know this is how it has to be done. This is what is the data. That's why I'm doing like this. But when you start doing in your project or in your work, you will have to discuss this every day and day out with the functional team or with the business and understand how should be it will be categorized and then decide which type of hierarchy you should be using. So right now I'm doing because I have created this data and use that data. So I'll just use the parent-child hierarchy. So I'll create a parent-child hierarchy. So here it is asking for a parent-child hierarchy. I'll give the name H1. I'll give the description as H1. Right? So this hierarchy is being created. So this is how I have created the sales organization dimension. At this point of time, let me validate the model. Let me see where is the issue. There's some issues there. Okay. So this is sales organization. Let me, okay. I think every model should have a measure, at least a measure. I'll come to that. That's why it is giving the validation aid. So now this is the sales organization dimension created. Similarly, what are the other dimension are there? Product. I'll quickly create product. So I'll say create another dimension. SAP CEP underscore product. Okay, and I will keep it as a generic and add. Okay. So I'll say there is a this doesn't have a this doesn't need to have a property. I'll just create a parent-child hierarchy. That's it. And I'll give H1. That's the name. Okay. This is product dimension is created. Similarly, I'll create the next dimension called customer. And how does it look? Customer. Then this is level. 3 levels are there. So I will create a dimension called SAP CP custom. I'll create it as a generic dimension. And then I will create 3 property. One is L1. I'll give L1 level 1. I'll create another property L2. Right. I will create another property called L3. These 3 properties are there. Okay. And then I will create a level based hierarchy. When you create the level based hierarchy, it shows like this. And I'll say customer hierarchy. Okay. This is your level 3 would come here. Here. And then you just keep on set as level 2. Level 3. This is how it looked like. I think this has to be changed or the order has to be changed a bit. Level 1, 2, 3, and then the member ID. So this level based hierarchy is created. Now this customer dimension is created. Now SAP entity. Now I have to create a entity dimension. So I will create another dimension called SAP underscore CP underscore entity. Okay, this is also generic dimension. If I see the data, it has a currency column. So I will enable the currencies. And then it has a hierarchy node and a country. So I'll create a property called country. Okay. And I'll say create. Okay. Then I'll create a hierarchy, parent-child hierarchy. Example H1. So this is how my entity dimension is also created. Last is account dimension. So I'll create last dimension called account. CP underscore account. So instead of the generic, this time I will choose account type dimensions. Okay, and you will add it. So you can see I'll just say account. And there is nothing here. I'm going to create. And this is how the dimensions are created. Okay. Now there would be in this particular model, if you see, there is no measures yet decided. So I will create measures. One is I'll check this actual data. Ultimately, we are going to load this data. Amount, quantity, and price. Okay. So I will just create 3 measures. One is amount, okay, I'll say this is decimal 7. Aggregation type by default as sum. The amount will be summed up. If you if you have 2 rows, $30 and $20, it will sum up to $50 like that. Required dimension, these are not required. Unit type, you need to give the unit type. It's the currency. Currency, I'm giving fixed currency as USD. Okay. And the scale and everything I'm not giving. Then come quantity and price. Okay, so I'll create a column called quantity. Right, and I'll say it is integer. Aggregation type, again here I'll give sum, and unit and currencies per unit. Fixed unit, if you wanted to give, there cannot be any fixed unit. So I'll just not giving any unit, okay, for now. Then I can create another dimension called amount, price, quantity. Now say price, and then price. Here also decimal type, aggregation type by default sum, and that's it. Okay. And this is currency type. You can decide the currency also from dimension. For amount, I am deciding the currency from sales organization. Remember, when I was defining the dimension here in this Excel, sales organization has a currency column. So I'm saying whenever transaction is taking place, any amount is being done, that has to be brought from the sales organization. Similarly, if I go to the price, I will also give that from sales organization. Okay. Right. So this is how the model has to be created. Now I'll save the model. Now you can see that error is not coming because I have defined these measures. I'll say my model from scratch. Okay. So I'll save the model. This is how the model looks like. Now, can you tell me? Can anybody tell me like what I have done so far? Have I loaded the transaction data? No. Right, model is saved. What I have exactly done here so far? I have just defined the structure of the model. Okay, so none of the data has been loaded. So this is a master data, 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 which is in turn in a dimension, and then there are 3 measures around that. This is exactly the star schema like structure in the model. Okay, if you wanted to toggle the view, you can toggle the view. Now, there is no data right now, that's why it is not showing any data, right? So this is how exactly the star schema like structure when you create the model. But this structure was getting automatically created when you were creating through flat file. But here you have the capacity of defining each and everything from scratch. Okay, so I created these models here, and that models are basically reflecting here. How does it look like? Now each, as I said, sales organization is a master data, product is a master data, customer identity, all are master data. So what I'll have to do, those data, whatever I have shown it here, those has to be loaded in that. So that so you can imagine this, each tab are master data. Okay. But, and this final data set that you are seeing, this is transaction data. Inside that inside this transaction data, there is account, there is version, date, month, sales organization, product ID, customer ID, entity ID, amount and quantity and price. All these sales organization is basically nothing but this sales organization. Nothing from this sales organization is possible in this column. Similarly, product ID, all this product ID, whatever is there, against that, this transaction data is being created. Right? Similarly to customer, this is the members, all those customers. This is the entity, similarly for the entity. Right? So I will right now upload the master data of those. So I'll just click on the check on this and go back to your model here and click on the sales organization. So it opens up. So you can see exactly the same structure got created: member ID, description, H1, currency, entity. I'll just copy paste my data here. This is my master data. Save. Okay. Same we had to do for product. If you go inside the product, you will see same thing. Okay. Save. Now I'm going inside again for the customer. Go inside of the customer and just paste. These are master data definitions I am giving. Okay. Then you go inside the entity and use this entity data. Okay. And save. Then last but not the least, account dimension. Just go there and copy paste the account. So now each of these column in the account dimension has a significance. So this account type is the most important one. And these account types are, what are the different types of account possible? As I said, account types are income, expense, LEQ, that means liability and equities, AST, asset, and others. Okay. Others are basically told like, not some exactly, let me recall. Others are called as non-financials. Okay. And fin. These are the different account types are possible in a planning model. Okay. So I'll just go back here after saving this. I'll go back and then go inside the account. I will copy paste this data that I have. Yeah. Yeah. Now I'll save this. So once the data is saved, these yellow buttons also went away. Okay. Now because I uploaded the data, I'll just say save. Okay. One more time. So this is how you create your model. Right. Now this is in the model structure tab. There are two more tabs are there: calculation and data management. Calculation tab, if you based on these measures, if you wanted to calculate something, then you can create a calculation. So say for example, I will just create a calculation here. I'll say the calculated measures are this. Okay. So I have I have three columns, right? Amount, price, and quantity. I will say
So can we do like if quantity is 2, give a discount?
yeah, we can do that. No, in this case, the calculated measure is a specifically like basically a straightforward calculation. Okay, it's not a if then else conditions. Okay, so I'll create this calculation. Let me show you a first a simple one, then we'll see further. Okay. So here average, I was calculating average, so I'll say so these are the functionalities are possible. Account lookup, restrict lookup, inverse if is possible. Yes, right. Now if you see, this is the condition. If my, say for example, price or amount is amount is greater than, say for example, 10, 100, I'll say amount and else something else. Okay, I'll say say price, something like that. I'm just showing it right now. I've not prepared these things. I just wanted to show you some simple calculation. Let me first show you a simple calculation. Then you can get into the more detail. Obviously that detail, if then else and all those functionalities are possible. So I'll give you a very simple one here. Average is equals to amount divided by quantity. Simple. Okay, this is what I wanted to create. It got created and I save this. But if then else is also possible, I need to little bit check the format and all. So model saved. You can create a calculated model as well. Okay, measures as well. Right. So this is how you can create a calculation. So what you are doing through all this exercise is basically you are defining the model structure. Okay, so that means what I have defined. This is how the model structure is there. This customer, product, sales, date, entity, accounts are the dimension. These are the measures, and these are the calculation measures are I have. Say for example, average. Okay, right? So this is what. Now your model is ready, and against each of this model dimension, I have uploaded my master data against each of these. And while I have created the master data, I have also defined the hierarchies. Okay, I have also defined the hierarchies. So if I go inside the sales organization, you can see this is the hierarchy I have defined. How the relationship between hierarchy. So all these sales organizations belongs to root total node. And in term total node is belongs to root node. Okay. So this is the way it is you can create. Okay. Now this data model is ready. So now what we have to do at the very end, we'll have to go to data management tab and upload the data into this model. Which data? This transaction data. I'll keep this as it is. Now to upload the data, what we have to do at the very first, you need to browse and give the file. So import job settings we need to do. You will go and browse the file that you wanted to upload. So I'll say actual data. Okay. We'll say import. So now it is trying to import the data. Let's see what happens. You can see the import job is scheduled is there. but it is not yet run. Let it be uploaded. It is still uploading. Once this is done, so the import setup is done. Now you have to set up the import. Click on this setup. Once you click on this import setup, what will happen? It will take you to a different screen. That screen is basically nothing but mapping of the column from the file to the data model. Okay, mapping of the column from the file to the data model. It may happen, right? Your file, after you created the data model, your file have a different sequence of columns. Dimensions are all different sequence not in the same sequence of the model. So that's why it is mapping is required. So you will see these are the columns are there. You can see the raw data. How does it look? You click on next. Here you can just map. Automatically it will take the mapping. If doesn't take, then you have to map it properly. Okay. So say for example, customer ID should be mapped to customer. Okay. Similarly, product ID should be mapped to product. Sales organization should be mapped to sales organization. Okay. Date should be mapped to date month. Right. Product ID should be mapped to product ID. Entity should be mapped to entity. Okay. And version is automatic. You can do that. Now I'll next. After this mapping, so this is a mapping between file and the model. Now it is validating the mapping. Okay, data successfully validated. After the successful validation happens, right, you can run the import. Okay, now finish. Now you'll see a issue here. It is running the job. Let it run and it will give you some status. So it's saying could not import the data. Some issues. Let's see. You can see it could not import the data. Right? It got some issues. So after the mapping also it could not import the data. One of the reasons of not importing the data is that in your planning model, sorry, I came out. Yeah, in your planning model, in your model, right? If you open it in the date column, right? You have to define the range of the date. I have defined the range of the date from 2020 to 2023. But in my Excel file, if I open the Excel file here, actual, right? Data, the date is not, all the data is not following under the that date. Well, you can see there are date which is 2020, 2021. So I will increase the date range. Okay, so I'll go 2016 and increase by 2027. This is the range I would give and then save. Okay, now I will try to load the data one more time. Let's see how it looks like. Close that. Now you can see while it was trying to import, it can say data preparation unexpectedly some error code happened. Now I'll try to do it one more time. I'll say import. Rather, I will give the file one more time. Set up the import. I'll say next. I'll have to give the date column to date column, sales org to sales org, product ID to product ID, customer ID to customer ID, entity ID to entity ID. Okay. Then say next. Everything looks good now. There is no additional action is required. Then next is analyzing, persisting your data changes. Hopefully this time it will make it. Let's see. And I'll get run import. No issues found. I'll get run import. Finish. Running the import. See. This data, actual data imported successfully. See, the status all. So this is how you have to load the data. The flat file. In case of import connection, you have to set up it. You have to give the data sources, and it will ask you what import connection you have to do. Just imagine instead of file loading, you are doing through import connection. You create a model and then upload the data through the import connection. It's the same process. Okay, this is how you will create your model and upload the data. Now, if you go to the home screen, right, you will go to the file and where is my exercise and is my model. Save it somewhere else. Check. Yeah, I think this is the one real one. Okay, let me see. I somehow I created that model. Go to that modeler. It will show it to the recent file. Oh, it is created under the trainer folder. Yes, this is the model. Okay. I'll move it to exercise. Right, so I'm moving. Now you can see this model is going available. Now this model can be used for your story page. So this is how you will create your model from scratch. Now I will open up for question. Let me know if you have any question.
Are there any challenges we're having creating models so far that we might want to get or ask Shubo to explain further or focus on?
So we are not creating models from scratch. We are usually using the data source. So I'm not that familiar with this from scratch, like creating all the dimensions and everything. I would love to learn that, but I didn't have the access to this file also. If I would have in the beginning, I would copy along with you.
You should have this access to these two files, actual data and meta model. If you do not have, I will send it again.
Please, in the trainer folder, if you can move it.
Okay. I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll do that. I'll do.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I thought I saw
Actual data, plan data, and meta model.
Are you going to share it in
LMS? LMS, you should already have it.
LMS has actual data files, but that one does not have all the tabs that you were showing.
No, that other all the tabs you will see it in the meta model file.
Meta model.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it's in the maybe it was a little confusing. It's in the materials labs.
And it's in metadata, not actual. So
Metadata.
weren't you using actual data?
Yes, actual data. I after I created this using the metadata file, which is this file, I created all the dimension. Then in the data management, I uploaded the actual file.
Oh, so the actual file has the data and metadata has just the structure.
Metadata is just the structure and their corresponding master data.
Okay, okay. So that's the
This
thing,
is
Malin. We don't create it from master data like this, but it's nice to learn this thing.
Yeah, this is very important for you to understand, like how you can.
Yeah.
So if right now I have created with a file. Suppose you are creating an import connection, right? Import connection. If you are creating through a model through an import connection, then you don't need to create from the scratch. But in case it is your import connection is not ready, say for example you are doing a greenfield project and import connection is not yet ready, you would upload, you create your model, later you map the import model to load the data. That is why it is helpful. And while you are loading the data, you can also schedule that load daily, monthly, yearly, or all those
weekly.
things.
Yes.
Weekly and all.
So this master data, like where would you get this master data from?
So this master data, in this case, I have this.
Like, is there any
sample
SAP? Okay, you've
Right.
created it yourself.
Not you myself, but I've got it from some exercise files and here and there. Okay. Which is basically, see, this master data is ultimately used in, if you see it in this actual data, this transaction data. So a transaction cannot take place without a master data, right? So ultimately, that's what I was trying to say. If you open the actual data set here, right? S001, S005. If you put a filter on this, all these data, all this S001 are nothing but this master data.
Yeah, that part I understand. I'm like, it's like this is the table and that is the data. My confusion is how can we apply it in our company? That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. So sorry, for example, you have a GL account. That is a master data. You will get the GL account details in S4 CFIN SK1 table. Okay.
SK1. Okay.
SK1. So you have to get an extract of SK1 and upload into SSE. Or through an import connection, you have to upload the GL accounts in your GL account model.
How about sales data?
Sales data, you have sales organization, distribution channels, division. Those are the master data. And then ultimately we'll upload the data through transaction, like okay, this date, this is the sales amount, this is the sales quantity. But those data has to be, first the master data has to be set up, and then ultimately we'll load this transaction data.
So in this case, you are not using BW, but directly accessing this data from SAP through master data.
No, I'm defining the master data directly within the dimension. Within the
that's
dimension.
what I'm
Yes.
thinking.
Yeah, inside this dimension, I clicked here, right? And went inside of that dimension. And there I have defined this master data.
I understand this part. My question is like, So right now this master data is not coming from SAP BW, but we are getting it directly from SAP, all the master data for currencies and sales and everything. And then we are creating a model based on that from Madeline. I was thinking more because of the mark table, like when we have to upload that or something like that. That's when maybe this is helpful. Like, sometimes ZRSD report that we run, if we have to get that data and master data, then I think this thing is helpful. That's my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. My wheels are turning on how we could use this also. I think we could though figure out, if we do it in the model or we I don't know, somehow pull it in the query. Yeah, but I'm sure we'll use this.
Yeah, in this case, I'm not using an import connection. So as you said, Sadia, that I'm using the S4 HANA box directly. No, I'm not using S4 HANA box directly. I have created a mock-up data from in the Excel file and I'll upload it here, copy pasting it. But in real world, you will use a import connection or a live connection.
Okay, Shubha, tell me one thing. If this file has to be updated every week, what's a good idea, to do it this way or get it from BW? Like if the data is changing significantly and we need to update the data every week.
The data that gets changed significantly is the transaction data. Master data very rarely change, right?
Yes.
So transaction data you can schedule. Load you can schedule. Right?
Okay.
You can schedule.
Yeah.
So and that scheduling will happen here. That scheduling will happen in the data management tab, where you can schedule. This is where you will schedule the job. Once you import the file, you can schedule further. Right? First time I have loaded that moment you select, you have the capacity of scheduling it. Right now it is not coming because import connection it will show you.
There was something about since we outsourced our cloud recently, they're trying to get this scheduling feature turned on. Our IT lead is trying to get this turned on, but I don't think, Francis, do you know the latest? We don't have this available yet because we just moved to an outsourced cloud, apparently.
Okay.
So we're dealing with, we were just starting to learn about this time stamping feature as well for master data. Do you have any tips or insights on that? I apologize for the background noise. I'm going to move in a few minutes, guys.
No problem. Yeah.
But in a situation where we've got master data, let's say we want to refresh it monthly, for example, and that there's a way that we can timestamp that data when it comes in, and then retain that timestamp. Do you have any tips or experience in that for us?
No, in SSE you cannot timestamp the master data because of the fact there is unless and until you have a timestamp column as an attribute of the master data. So for example, sales organization today S001 is this. Tomorrow it may, instead of sales organization US, and it may start belonging to, say for example, instead of ENT 0001, it may start belonging to ENT 0010 10. So that kind of change you have to maintain through a time dependent master data, and you have to have a time column, date from and date to. Okay, that has to be there. From which date to which date, that is valid.
Okay, so time dependent master data, if the SAP source is not time dependent, that's our challenge.
That's your challenge, yes. Your SAP data has to be wherever you are getting the data from, like your transaction system, that has to be also time dependent. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense in principle, agreed, but there's some use cases where
you want to track, audit.
Yeah.
Audit, right? I understand that. Then in
Yeah,
that
we need to
case,
track the point in time. Exactly.
yes, in that case, you need to make sure that that timestamp is generated somehow into the, like, if you are using import connection, it is not possible. If you are using a file based model creation, that the one I have created now, in that case, somewhere you have to define a timestamp column, and that timestamp column or date to date from column, and that has to be populated. That has to be populated. Then you can do that.
Okay, that insight is helpful.
Yeah.
But I definitely see us using this new skill and practicing it more.
Yes. So this is a model that you are creating from scratch and then uploading against that model the data. Now I have done some little bit of reverse engineering, like I have created the data first, showed you the data first, and then created the model. Ideally, you will in the real time scenario, you will not see the data here. You will just, okay, you will see that, okay, these are the attributes are there. This is the hierarchy and all these things that you will learn, and then you will have to discuss with maybe in S4 system you can see the data and little bit or more. Okay, and then based on that you have to create the dimension and upload against each of these dimension the data, so that that master data is defined. Say for example product, if you see, the master data is defined like these are the product. So any transaction in the transaction files coming here where the product is not lying into this that data will be rejected in this model. That data will be rejected.
I have a kind of basic question here. I'm learning, bear with me. But when we
No
have
problem.
multiple sources that we're pulling in, let's say we're pulling in a import query, and let's say we're pulling in an Excel, maybe 2 Excel files. Do we join on, whatever reference number, and then do we build that in one model?
Yes,
Is that
we can do that.
correct?
We can do that, yes. But generally, I have not seen such scenarios in terms of like combining import connection and file together. But we can do that while importing. There are possibilities of doing that. Like that is what I was trying to show you in the wrangling functionalities. There is one of the slide, right? If you see here,
Yeah, that's what we saw.
yeah, two
So,
files
because
joined together into one file.
Francis, are you happy because you're doing that right now with the transplace file? Do you have any questions on that or any challenges that you could use some insight for?
I don't have much questions right now because the translate file, I'm still waiting on Rahul. So for the query.
What about the carrier program management, that file that is showing 2 times the amount of data? Anything that's a challenge there? I'm just thinking out loud.
The challenge I have with it now, I'm working with Rahul and Danu on that. So I'll circle back and get back to him on that. But in terms of like a quick question now that you can give me, that has to do with creating a model. I don't have any question for him now.
Okay.
So once I loaded the data, also you need to also understand, if I go back here, when initially I was seeing the data preview, like I meant to say this tab, just a view, this toggle view, there was no data. Now that data got uploaded, you can start seeing the data. See, that is what I have uploaded. 44,000 rows. It is just a sample 2,000 rows. It is showing. Right? The data got uploaded. Now you guys can practice this and get a hands on how to create a model from the scratch and upload the data. So this is a model that you have created. I have created from very scratch. Nothing has been there. Now here I have used only 6-7 dimension. In real time world, it could be more than that, a little bit more complex. Okay, so this is how you can create. And this is the new dimension type, a new model type I have used, where you will get this particular measure section explicitly, and then the calculation section explicitly, where I have created the average. Now if I go back into the model structure and see the data here, right, this amount price are there. Now if I wanted to say, for example, go into the stories, create a story, say for example a classic design experience, I'll create a story, say for example here a chart, and I go to exercise and I use my model from scratch. Okay, and I use a horizontal bar chart, add a measure. You can see the average is already calculating. Okay, I think it should be calculated, but let's see how it is behaving. Accounts required to build a bar chart. Okay, the account has to be given. I think average price. And another time, sorry, another measures I can give. One. So this is how you can see the average is also getting calculated. Okay. Average is also getting calculated on the fly, although it is not showing at the model level, because you have a calculated column. When the model was, when I uploaded the data on the fly, like not on the fly, uploaded the data, then average automatically got automatically calculated. You know, that's how it behaves. Okay, I'll give another account, say for example here, say cross sales. So this is how you can create a model. Okay, and you can use this model into the chart. I'm not getting into the chart details or the story details further. You guys can start creating a model and start practicing these different dimension creation inside the model and upload the data if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. That way you will have a hands-on. Stop sharing for now.
Francis Madeleine, who would like to share the screen? Madeleine?
Yeah, Francis, do you want to go ahead?
I'm currently at the hospital now, so I don't have my computer now.
Okay, I'll share my screen.
So whenever you are, see, one of the major thing that you need to understand, whenever you are creating whenever you are doing for SAP Analytics or any analytics like BW Purana, understanding of the data is very important. So that's why I yesterday told, try to study that file a little bit. Okay? The file,
Yeah.
meta model file. So you click on the model. On the model and then plus model.
Trying to see where is the materials. Okay, here it is. So you said it's the metadata. No, I don't need to open it. I just need to download it. Okay, so now.
Thanks, Sadia.
No problem.
Yeah, new model.
Okay, so now when I come here, new dimension.
No, if you can see, right, this is a very good starting. So hold on. If you see on the new model below that, there is an analytical model is called out. Okay. Can you click on the preference and change it to the planning model?
Oh yes, we have to change it to planning model.
It is not necessary like the model. The model is, if you set it as a planning model, then you will be able to create. There are 2 dimensions will be by default. Yeah, enable that at the right side. Planning capabilities. I think you do not have the authorization here.
Oh.
So
okay, let me try the
to,
other SAP then. Which was this one. Okay, so if I start it here, model, new.
yes, now this is the planning model. By default, 2 dimension will come, versions and date. Rest of the dimension you have to decide.
And this one is already selected as a planning model. Okay. So now I go, sorry, go.
So we pretty much always use planning model, just to confirm?
No. No. If you are doing only planning activity, then only it will be doing planning model. And planning model is only possible on the import connection, not on the live connection.
Got it.
Okay. So now I start adding the dimensions.
Correct.
Okay, so for
now
that,
you refer back to the file. First
yeah.
dimension name SAP CEP underscore, say for example, sales organization.
So in downloads. Okay, and this is. Where did it go? Oh, this is OneDrive. System.
It's the meta. Are we using the metadata file, right?
Yeah.
I can't shoot. Yeah, we can't use our shared directory.
We can't?
It's still not up. I'm saving everything to local right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So this is the metadata, and I start creating the models based on that.
Yeah, I'll tell you. First, you can create a dimension called sales organization.
It has to be exactly the same way it's on the. Oh, okay. Just say
in the loading time, you can map it.
Oh, yes. Sales, but it has to be one word, right? It won't take it won't give space.
No.
Yeah,
in the
I remember
technical
that.
name, it will not take the
Sales org. And sales org is the
dimension
one.
type of the dimension type of the dimension is generic. You can have 4 type of dimension: account, generic, date, and
organization. So make this a public dimension,
No,
right?
no, if you don't want to give access to this dimension to anybody else into the system, then you don't make it public. If you wanted to give for the reusability purpose, if you wanted to give that, make it public, you can make it public, depending on your use case. Now, once you created that, in the left side, right side, you have got all the bunch of properties. You can give the descriptions. No, do not enable anything. I'm not enabling anything. So if you go up, if just give the descriptions of the dimension, sales organization. Here you can give space.
Yes.
Okay, now if you further go below, so now if you see the file that the sales organization has one attribute called currency. So to have that attribute as currency, you have to enable the currency. Just click on the enabling the currency.
Oh, yes.
Then it has also another property called entity. So you have to create a property called entity, create property entity. That means sales organization has an entity. You just give entity.
And that type is?
That type can be text.
Okay.
Just create. Okay. Now then another property it has called hierarchy H1. So you create a parent-child hierarchy. Yes. Give the name of the hierarchy as H1. Just save it. That's how the dimension configuration is done. Now, if you double click, if you click on the dimension on the left panel or double click on the dimension anywhere, you will get inside that dimension. Yeah, no, not there. On the dimension sales org. Yeah, no, you can click on the right corner, top right corner button on that square box. On that blue square box below in the diagram. The one you have selected now in the diagram below. Cannot annotate here. That's the problem. No, you go at the very top corner diagonally below diagonally below, further below, not in that pane, outside that pane, left side, further left side, generic, wherever the generic dimension is written, further below. Yes, just click on the sales organization.
Sales organization, this one?
Yes, click on that. It will take you inside. Here you copy paste the data from that Excel.
So here I copy paste the data
from the Excel.
Oh, okay. So copy paste the heading.
Not the heading. Heading is already there. Member ID, description, currency, hierarchy, and then entity. Remove the close the details panel. You are just defining the master data here from the file.
Okay, so get that data from row second onwards to.
Correct. Where is your currency? I do not see. Oh no, where is your entity? See the entity here.
Yes, okay. Entity I cannot see.
Go back one more time.
No, not.
No, back. Not there. This below back. No, that is undo. Yes. Can you click on that and open the details? Go below.
Entity is there.
It is there, then why it is not showing?
Maybe the columns were too wide.
Maybe. Yeah.
You want to let me see. Okay, so
there should have been a
entity is here.
Okay. Now just paste the data, copy paste the data from Excel. That way you are defining the master data for sales organization.
Okay. So we are good here. Go back, create the new tab, right?
New
Create the
dimension.
the new dimension, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so add a new dimension. Name should be CEP.
You can just give next name as your choice. Yeah, just give product.
And we don't want to make it public, right? Will this be generic?
Yes, it will be generic.
Okay, and in details, I go and add in property member ID. Okay, so data sources, planning. Oh no, I have to be here.
You have to just create a hierarchy here.
Hierarchy.
There is no property there. Just create a parent child hierarchy. That's it.
Parent child, okay.
That's it. Now, if you inside that plot, you can define the data in for the product. Just copy paste the data from the file. Save.
Save.
Yes. Every time you have to save, otherwise the data will not be saved. Okay, fair enough. That's okay. This is giving some error. So I would say let's no. I would say right now do not update the data because you have not defined any. You know what do you call? You have not defined really any measures. That's why it is giving this error. Go back.
Oh.
Just create few measures. Say, for example, price, quantity, and amount. Yes. Just create some measure. Price. Just give the description same. Data type as decimal is fine. Aggregation type sum. Yes, and go to the currency derived from sales organization. Unit is currency derived from sales, not fixed, top down, derived from dimension. So just give sales. Yes, that's fine. Now you can save the model. At least one measure has to be there.
Oh, okay. So this is the model from scratch. Okay, and now I do the next dimension, right? Next 3 dimensions.
Yes, similarly.
Okay.
And if you go inside the one of the dimension already you have created, can you see the data now? Can you check or you create and then finally check?
Okay.
Next one is customer.
Customer. Generic, right?
Yes.
And then we don't need any hierarchy here or anything else, right?
Yes, there are 3 hierarchies, 3 levels, level 1, level 2, and level 3.
Oh, we have levels. Yes.
3 levels you have to create. That means 3 properties you have to create.
3 properties I have to create. Okay.
Yes. No currency you didn't enable. Remove that currency. Yeah. Create property, create property, create property 3 times. Go below.
Below.
There
oh,
is
this.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
First
here I have to give L1.
L1. Yes. Description.
And it will be text.
It
right?
will be text. Yes.
Okay.
Then
and then
again, click on the plus button at the top. Beside properties. Yes.
L2.
L2.
This is also text.
Yes.
And then create another one, which is L3, which is also text.
Yes. For this, you are going to create a level-based hierarchy. Go below.
So now I have the option for level
Yes.
based. Before I was not having. Okay,
Yes.
that's why. Okay, got it.
Now you have to define the you have to give the name of the hierarchy. So for example, you say customer hierarchy.
Hierarchy. Oh, I have to. I don't give the space here.
No, here it will not take space.
Okay.
Now you just pull the lowest node is member ID. Then after that, it will be 3. Just click on that 3. No, third one is the node above
Like this.
member.
That's how.
Yes, L2, L1. Yes, correct. This is correct.
Okay, and now show eligible
say.
property or no?
No,
Okay.
you don't need to do that. Just say okay.
So now I copy and
data.
paste that.
Data, yes. Then the
Okay.
dimension is set.
Okay, now I save.
Yes.
And then the next dimension, it's entity.
Next dimension, entity. So basically, whenever you do planning, this is the level 4-5 dimension level you will do the planning. Generally, no organization does planning at the GL account level. They do the account group level or company code level or profit center level or cost center level or sales org level, like that.
So, but we have this option here in SAC, but still people don't do that. That's what you're saying.
No, generally planning doesn't make sense at the granular most level.
Oh,
planning
okay.
makes sense to do specifically financial planning. Financial
Yes.
planning is at the higher level.
Oh, okay. Okay. What else other than GL is we can use this planning for?
GL is
like
the basic
trends, sales, a trend of sales. Would that be
now planning
something?
there are 2 more planning possible. One is workforce planning, which is for employee and how much work headcount I will have and all those things, right? That is the workforce planning. And another planning is inventory planning. Inventory planning is very complex. Basically that is being done by in SAP APO, but that is very complex. I have never worked on that, to be honest.
Okay.
So in the entity, you have to you have to enable the currency. Then you have to create a property called country.
Okay, so I do currency and create property country.
Text.
Okay.
And create hierarchy parent child.
How do you figure out it's parent child or level based?
So that is based on my data I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
But generally in BW world, it is a level based hierarchy. Okay.
Oh.
Rarely it will be parent child. Mostly it is level based.
Okay.
So what happens if we use the wrong one?
No, that's where you need to study the data before you start doing this modeling activity. You have to study the source system a little bit. But in case of import connection or live connection, you don't have to worry about that. Those hierarchies will be coming from those systems. You don't need to take care of those hierarchy.
Okay.
So then you have to create another dimension called account dimension.
This one is account, right?
Yeah, but
yes.
You have created it as a generic. It's not a generic dimension type. It should be created as account. So you have clicked on that. Just click on the delete button at the top.
Delete button on the top.
Left, yes.
And that will delete only this dimension,
only
right?
Only this dimension.
Okay. Okay. So recreate it. We cannot change it.
Add a new dimension. and this dimension should be account type.
And now I should make it account.
Account.
Yes. And here I should give a hierarchy.
No, there is no hierarchy in the account dimension. You just need to maintain the data. So here, you at the highest level, you are saying that whether it's an income account, whether it's an expense account, whether it's a liability or equities, and all those things.
So what is this then?
This is.
We don't want to create this.
This is just see, your sales is ultimately dependent on discount, gross sales, and returns. That's what it is saying.
So I don't need to create a hierarchy.
No, you don't need to create that.
Okay.
If you go inside the account dimension, that particular field is by default. All this field by default will come.
Oh, okay. For account, when I choose it as account type, this happens.
Yes. If you click on the CEP dot account.
Yes, I see this here. Okay. I am on it.
If you go inside that, also there will be seen the hierarchy, third column.
Oh yes, you're right.
Now just copy paste
these are already there. Okay.
Are already there. These are the properties of the account count. This is by default, it will come. It's an inherent property. And the most important is account type here. You have to at least tell whether it's income account, expense account, or LEQ or NFIN, non-financials account. I think there is some issues here. The columns are got changed. So what you have to do after account type, you just copy paste everything once more time and shift it by one place.
Okay. So this is to go
in aggregation type.
Aggregation type.
No, I think you have it got pasted from the.
Okay, I'll do it again. So after formula.
After calculated on.
Formula account type is correct. Rate type is missing. Oh, where is the rate type column?
Rate type column got missed because of the fact maybe we have not you have not enabled as this model as a currency conversion model. So in the initially when I was creating, if you see in the preferences, I enabled that currency. So if you go back to the currency preferences in the model preference.
Model preference.
How can you go in the general? There is a save button, right? Beside that, there is a preference button. Yes. Now, if you go to currency, enable the currency, and this is the table by default it is taking. That's fine for now. Okay, just say okay. Now you copy paste the data one more time into the account dimension. Then that type will come. Just copy paste the data one more.
Yes, it went fine. Okay, that's good.
Save. Okay, just save.
Oh yes, I have to save.
Just create two more columns, price, amount, and quantity, and then you can load the data.
Price,
amount, and quantity.
And I don't have to give currency or anything here.
No, you have to mention that. Yes, correct. You have to mention. Aggregation type should be by default. No, you have to give the name, price, amount you have give, quantity. Yes. Should be quantity. Instead of decimal, you can just put integer.
Yes.
And just.
This is fine, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so this is done. Save. I have. This is done. Oh, what happened here?
Went back. Can you come again?
I just want to make sure I did copy the data for all of them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so this is done. And then customer is done. And entity. Yeah, I thought I would miss something. Okay, so I have to copy this data. I used to have hard time with the hierarchies when I was creating models in copying this data.
Okay.
All right, so this is done now. So this is all good now, right? My model is okay. So I have to import the data now.
Data now from the actual file. So for that you need to go to the data management tab. For that, for now if you wanted to create any calculated measures that you can create by going to the calculation tab. Click on the drop down. Here you can create the sum calculation based on these three measures that you have created. Base measure, amount, price, and quantity.
Amount. Okay. So
I was creating an average price kind of thing. You can create something so, and this could be complex formula.
What do you, when you say this could be a complex formula, what
like
is
Sadia
complex?
was, yeah, like Sadia was saying, right? Based on something, if discount is 10%, so if sales is more than $10,000, I will give them 20% discount. Those kind of calculation is achievable.
So if I want to do like if quantity is 2, I give 50% discount. How do I do that?
Yes, so you create a calculated measures.
I do if here. Should I type if?
No. First you have to create a plus button beside the calculated measure.
Beside the calculated.
Below, left side.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Now you have to give the name of the calculated measure on the right side panel.
If.
No, here. First you give the name on the right side panel. Properties.
Name it first.
Here.
No, right side.
Here. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so this is discount. If quantity is
now this
equal to
formatting I need to check, like this is a different language. Is like, okay, you can keep on writing.
Is equal to 2 amount.
What language? I mean, is there a language that this is, or is this just a get used to SAC?
This is just we can say JavaScripting, kind of JavaScripting you are using.
250.
Okay.
I'm making it simple, so I just put 50. Yeah, go ahead.
Else you have to give something.
Else
amount.
Else amount, yes, you're right.
Francis, you might want to think about one of your more challenging formulas in that by program type if you want, and using it as an example and get some input.
Logical expression may be double equal to. No, that is the assignment in this comparison one. Quantity equal to 2. So this is where we need to have a little bit of knowledge of JavaScripting.
Amount, please complete or okay. So let me remove this one here. Please complete or rewrite the formula. Okay. If quantity is equal to 2.
Yes, it's not that straightforward because of the fact. Can you take a click on that function help? No, function help. There was a button called function help.
Function L.
Yeah, right corner. Yeah, that function helps. Click on that. Beside that,
Oh, this one?
Yes.
Oh.
Just search if. Oh no, it doesn't have if.
Here's if.
There it is. Just clicking on that, what it is saying.
Checks the condition, and if it evaluates
check on the operators. I think there that operator will you have to choose it from there. Click on the instead of the function, click on the operators. Right side. Yes. Right now you are into the functions tab. Just click on the operators right side, the top. Yes. Now can you see here if there is any conditional operators are there?
No, it's just operators.
Yeah, you need to scroll down. Now the scroll bar came. Equal to. Can you choose it from here? Can you check? Instead of double click. Space is coming. I think that 50 has to be given in quote, and there is another if got opened.
There was an example here. You want to see that one? Here. It says here.
If sales is greater than 100, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. If quantity is equal to 2, is actually greater than 2. Let's put it this way. Price amount
into 50%.
Yeah, I could see us using this if quantity is, greater truckload, LT.
Yeah.
Remove that if. Yes.
Amount will be, else it will be. Also, it's taking multiply, but no. So let me put is decimal
0.5.
Yeah. Else 0.8. No. Point. Okay. So we did it. Okay. Now
save it. So this is how you can create multiple calculation at the model level.
Very good.
So if we're, like pretty good with Excel, formulas, but we don't have JavaScript in our background, what's the best way to get up to speed and become
the best way? Don't JavaScript is Java.
Keep trying.
JavaScript
Melon,
is
I think the example. Yes. If you look at the example, how they are doing it, mostly it's the syntax issue. Logic is there.
Logic you will be able to just that syntactically it has to match, and you don't think about learning JavaScript. JavaScript is a ocean. Okay, so so I would say context-based learning, right? You do not need all the JavaScripting. You just need whatever you need from that piece. You can make out very easily.
So this was the best thing. So functions help, and then underneath it, you get the syntax for everything. There is also an example, I think. This is our best bet.
Yeah, I think, that's pretty clear. But I'm trying to understand what's the kind of max that we can do with this. Like we have some very complicated logic in some of our metrics. I'm thinking suboptimal freight. So I'm trying to understand, do we think this tool can handle the really complex stuff, or does it start to limit us?
It will have little limitations. It will not do super complex things. But the standard functionality that is there at the model level, you can see truncate, like, length, substring, left, if, then else logic, that it can do for sure.
So Marilyn, you're talking about the formulas that we have in Excel?
Yeah, there's some complicated Excel formulas, but like some of our metrics have a lot of programming in them, a lot of programming in them, to be honest with you. Like that suboptimal freight, you know, you have to know programming to develop that one. So that's why I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, something which is being done on top of like a database
Yeah.
programming like ABAP or something
Uh-huh.
like that. That you
Yeah.
cannot replace here.
You
It is on a
cannot do
higher
that
level.
here.
Yes, it's you
Marilyn,
cannot.
is it ABAP programming or BW scripting?
It's neither one, but it would be more similar to a VAP.
Okay. All right, so this model is good now, right?
This model is good. Now, if you wanted to load the data,
Oh yeah, I have to load the data now. Okay, so model from scratch. Then
you have to go to the data management tab. Even before that, just increase the date range. Go to the date dimension.
Date dimension. This one?
Yes, if you click on the, don't click inside, just hold it. I mean, it's going inside.
Okay. So
just hold that. Yes, just hold that, and then even on the right side you will see the, just click once. Yes, right side you can see that general. Just define the date range, widen that date range from 16 to 25, say for 26, 7. So this is the range for which that
planning will be done.
Planning will be done. Now generally we do not keep this much of range, only 1 year or 1 year maximum.
Okay. So now save.
Now save, yes, and then load.
Okay.
Otherwise you will, there is nothing wrong, your data will be rejected because the date range doesn't fall into those bracket.
The data, okay.
Now you just expose the like not import. First you browse the file from that top right corner button here, just beside the left, the one left towards that. Yes, it's that
file, right?
Select the actual file.
It's actual data now, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then use first row as
column header import. Now it is uploading the file into SSE environment. That is why it is import connection also does, and it is trying to give you the status. Now it is said that it is not yet run, but now it will allow you to do the setup of the file.
Okay. Okay.
It's still coming. Just click on that status. Just remove that part. Yes, it is still coming. You can see.
It's done.
No, it's not done. Now you have to give the setup import. You need to, the import has not taken place. It's just the file got uploaded into the cloud.
Yes, now I have to map the dimensions.
Map that, yes, correct. This is where the setup is take place. The first column is just showing you the sample data, which is fine. You just say next. In the next tab, you have to map the columns. So date. Yeah,
CP
that
account
one is
will go.
Account, yes.
And date month will go to date.
To date, yes. Product ID will go to prod. Version you can leave. Version it is automatically, it will automatically take. It's the actual version. That's it. Then click on next. Yes, there is no additional actions required. Everything is mapped properly. Okay, now here bottom here it is showing the definitions, and just say next. If you save and exit at this level, it will be save and exit, but it will never be imported.
It won't be imported. Got it.
Now just run import. Everything is fine. It has checked the data. Finish. Now it will start the job. Upload the data.
Madeline, do we do planning reports in our company?
Got correctly imported.
Got imported. Okay.
Just click on the status. I just wanted to see the all are green or not.
Yes, all agree.
So this is how you can do this. Okay, upload the
Good.
data. Now this that model you have created from the scratch can also be done by creating from a file. If you go to the 4 bars, one last time at the top left corner, at the left top corner, and create another model.
Left top corner 4 bars. This.
Yes. Yes. You go to create a model.
Create a model.
More, and modeler. Just create a from CSV file. Just browse the actual file.
Actual data.
Yes. It will get the file uploaded. Import. The file is getting uploaded. Just click on that file after it is uploaded. Yeah, just click on that file. Loading. Let's let it get finished. Now click on that processing. Now click on that file. Still processing.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Click on that now. It will take you to the modeler. Okay. See, this is how the data shows. Sample 200 record shows. Validate the model. Create model. Automatically model will get created in one shot.
Everything is done. Yeah. So it didn't need the customer master data for this thing.
So it will automatically create that. Like, let's see that what it does. Only thing you are not able to define the hierarchies and currencies properly, but rest of the fields will done. Let's create a model. Just let's create a model. Say create and give a name.
Go to files.
No, it is now creating the model. Go to files, and the model is created. Data is imported. Data is also getting imported. You can see 22,000, 2,24,880 rows imported. Automatically it does that.
Yes.
So this is one click process. But the one I have done from scratch, it is much more. But now if you go to the model structure, click on that workspace model structure. Let's see how that the dimensions are defined.
Oh.
See, this is not a new model type. This is a account based model type which is primitive. Okay, that's one thing you need to keep in mind. And now if you click on one of the sales organization ID, say for example, it has the data created, but all the other properties are not there. Hierarchies are not there. Its currencies are not there. So
if we do it this way, then we have to come ourselves and update those things, add those to model, and
you
then
can do that. You can do that. Then you need to first delete the facts at the top. If you
delete.
How can you delete the facts? Go back. On this screen, there is on the data on this data, right? Data tab at last button.
Data tab
on the
last
top.
button.
General edit data. Last button, general edit data. Go to data.
General edit data, last button.
Last button, delete facts. First you delete the data. Yes, all okay. It'll say all members I need to delete. Just say okay.
But these are all the measures, right?
It will just allow you to choose the measures, but automatically dimensions are also will get cleaned up. Okay.
Okay.
After that, you.
Sorry, can we from here change these dimensions to measures like we did for data sets?
No.
Okay, so we have to delete and recreate
Delete
them.
and delete.
Okay, that's the thing about
that
model.
could have been possible only when you are uploading the data set on the first time before you click on the create model.
Oh, it was possible.
Yeah, that was not when you are before you create model. Once the model is created, you cannot change.
Yeah. So why is rebuild model here then?
Rebuild model is there sometimes like a model to get corrupted. So that's where it is useful. Okay.
Model or data?
More model. Sometimes model get corrupted. So we need to migrate to the new model. You can migrate it to the new model. Now it is a older model type.
Okay.
Right? If you compare this particular screen with the model that I have created from scratch, you will see the differences. Here there is no measure. Right? Here there is no measure. All comes under account. If you click on the account.
Yeah, everything is dimensions here.
Inside that amount, price and quantity get added. But in case of new model, the amount, price and quantity is a separate measure column. That's a new enhancement SAP has done.
Okay, so and account is just left as an account type separately. Dimensions are separate and measures are separate. Date type was separate there. Yes. Okay, so that's because it was the planning model. Here
it is also planning model, but it is old type of planning model.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So whenever you are creating a model, there was initially a pop-up dialog box coming, right? New type or old type. So this is old type.
Okay.
This is old type.
Can I copy that structure of model to this model?
No. You cannot copy that structure into this model, but you can copy and save as and that model as many times as you want.
Okay, so can I copy that structure and create a new model and then upload this data from file?
This data,
on that?
Yes, this data and that data is same.
I understand. Suppose it's different.
Suppose it's different. Yeah, you can do that. No worries.
So let's copy that model and upload the data from a CSV file.
How will you copy that? You have to go to the file.
I have to go to files.
And to the location where you have created. Just
from
click
scratch.
On that. Yes.
And copy.
Yes. That's it.
And now I can upload the data from file into.
You can see another one got copied.
Yeah, so this one. How do I connect it to the file? File data?
Go to the data management.
Oh, so when I'm uploading, I upload that file data.
That file.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right. Okay. So now this all is done.
Yes, this all is done. So this is how you create the model from the scratch.
Okay.
So now you can see the difference between what is the difference between creating a model from scratch and what is the difference between creating a model from CSV file.
Yes.
In the CSV file, automatically the properties will be decided. You cannot have the control. You anyway have to modify later.
And that's the old style.
And that's not the old style. That will generate a model of old style.
Okay.
That uploading a file is still a new style. Okay, but I'm telling that will generate a model of old style. But if you create a model from scratch, it will be always a new style model.
And then I have to go into them and update everything myself again.
Yeah,
the hierarchy.
From the scratch, you have to do that.
Okay, good.
The stack. If you do not do that, if you do not even do that and upload the file, it will not fill up that hierarchy columns, level 1, level 2, level 3 that we created.
That will be missed. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
So these are the things. So this is how you can create the model. Now that you are able to create a model, I'm very happy. Like you are really picking up pretty fast. I have not seen somebody picking up very fast like this. And like this is really good. I mean to say, now tomorrow I can very confidently start on stories. Different factors of stories and all. And at the model level, we can also do certain things further. I will show you tomorrow before I start on the stories. Like I can define a variable, okay, in the model. I can geo-enrich it. Model also can be geo-enriched.
Oh,
so I
great.
will show those things in tomorrow's class little in detail, and thereafter I will jump into the stories.
Okay.
So if you want to practice it one more time by creating your data set, you can always do that.
All right.
Yeah. Anybody else? Madeline, Francis, you have any question?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Good evening. Yeah. Bye.
You too. Enjoy. Bye.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.